You're watching the Solano College Sports Network, SCSN, bringing you the best sports coverage in Solano County. Peterson has to deal with the Falcons. Cleanup hitter Alex Crosby and hits this one well to left center. Tolbert hits this one to left. It's carrying. Bailey over his head.
All right, here we go. Here's a pitch by Altman. At the knees, ring him up, strike three called. Here comes Wills, played the play, he's in, he is safe, and the Falcons are going to win this game 7-6. Oh my!
I'm Scott Stover. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Good. Let's roll. And we are here at Bill and Louise Yarborough Stadium. I am Zach Popp here with my broadcast partner Greg Popp in what should be a very entertaining matchup as the Mariners from Marin College come into Solano. Marin coming in number 5 in Northern California, first place in the BVC, a 2-game lead on Solano. Falcons need Anthony Pizzola to pitch the game of his life here this afternoon.
Well, most important series of the season thus far. Of course, Solano's been saying that for the last couple series. Came off that back-to-back games against Yuba, winning both those games, so they're sitting pretty. All they need to do, Zach, I think, is split these 2 games with Marin. And if you're going to get one, you'd like to get the one at home with Anthony Pizzola on the hill today. Also, very good pitching matchup. Got Will White, the lefty, going for the College of Marin. And you look at Will White's numbers, Zach, 2.53 ERA, 4-2 on the season. This will be his 8th start, 17 walks, 44 strikeouts. Pizzola, on the other hand, 2.19 ERA, 4-2. This will be his 9th start. He's got that one complete game, that one shutout, 53.1 innings pitched, 17 walks, 35 strikeouts. Should be a dandy of a pitching.
And both times these teams have matched up this year. Been 2 very exciting games. The Falcons won back on March 14th in a 2-1 one-run victory, and back on February 28th. Marin got the best of Solano here at Bill and Louise Yarborough Stadium. First pitch is set, outside ball 1, and the win that Marin had here at Bill and Louise Yarborough Stadium, the first time they've won at Solano since 2006. Alex Boeri takes the 1-0. Outside corner, strike 1. The home plate umpire here this afternoon, Alexis Trujillo, and infield ump, Jeff Dugmore. Nice to have 2 umps to start the game off today, right, partner?
Of course, on Saturday, infield umpire didn't get her to, I think, the 3rd inning.
1-1, perfect fastball outside corner. Count now 1-2 to Alex Boeri, and Boeri off to a fabulous start. 312 average, 3 runs batted in for the Mariners' leadoff hitter, the sophomore.
Yeah, he's been effective also, nearly 400 on the on-base percentage.
1-2 fastball outside, count now even at 2-2.
Well, we were hoping to bring you this game live today, but couldn't get all the equipment set on a Tuesday afternoon, so bringing this game on our YouTube channel on the Solano College Sports Network.
2-2, poke to third. Bishop takes it on 2 hops. Throw to first, low, just in time. Nice stretch by Crosby for the 5-3 put out. 1 up, 1 down for Anthony Pizzola. And important for Pizzola to get off to a quick start here and hold the Mariners off the board, because you don't want to allow Will White to have some runs to work with. The Mariners' bread and butter is their strong pitching staff, number 9 in the entire state of California, number 1 in just about every pitching category in the BVC. First pitch over for strike 1 to the designated hitter, Matt Dufford.
Yeah, one of the most incredible statistics about this Marin squad is their 2.41 team ERA.
0-1. Hit right at Pizzola. Looks like he was able to get his glove on it maybe, and he's all right, but
boy, I didn't like the sound of that. I couldn't see if he got his mid up. I just heard a crack. I hope that didn't smack him in the side of the head.
I believe he got his glove up just in time, and he looks fine out there, but just a scary sight. It reminds me of last season, the Oakland Athletics, when Brandon McCarthy took one right off the head and had to get surgery to remove stress from his brain.
And that's just such a tough position to defend on the mound. You get a line drive, and it is hard to react. Thank goodness for Pizzola. He's got those quick reactions and able to get his glove up and deflect that one, because that was going right for his head.
Yeah, that just shows you how important it is to be athletic as a pitcher. Pizzola able to get his glove up just in time. But now we're going to see how he handles it. I mean, a line driver right back at you, and he's got to rowdy a little bit. Now he's got to deal with the number 3 hitter, Casey Levy. 242 average, 2 bombs, 15 RBIs for the Mariners' number 3 hitter. Outside ball 1.
And Matt Dufford on first base via the infield single. Solano going with the light blue tops today. White pants, Marin in their road grays, yellow and black trim.
Levy, the lefty, takes the 1-0 outside, so quickly ahead on Pizzola, 2-0.
Yeah, Pizzola just trying to work the outside part of the plate. Levy, of course, excellent power, only hitting .252, but boy, he's got 5 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs.
Just outside, so Levy quickly ahead on Pizzola, 3-0.
Yeah,
Pizzola only 17 walks and 53 and a third.
Yeah, and he's just trying to work that outside corner, but not getting the call from the home plate umpire, Trujillo.
Let me go tell her that I'm going to do that. All right, thank you
very much. 3-0, strike one, and Pizzola had a nice stretch there against Napa and Los Medanos, where he went 17 straight innings without allowing an earned run. His last 2 starts, he's given up 11 runs, but only 5 of those 11 have been earned. Defense was charged with 6 errors against Los Medanos in that crazy 10-9 loss for Solano. Runner takes off, and it's low, so walk to Levy, and now that'll put runners on first and second for Marin's best hitter, Patrick Hodges, coming in, .333 average, 22 RBIs, and 1 see-you-later shot.
And he's got that .478 slugging percentage. So this guy, boy, he's a guy you want up if you're a Mariner fan. Top of the first inning, game just underway, but Marin, 1 out, runners on first and second, and their best hitter at the plate.
Hodges has at least 1 hit in 13 of his last 14 games. Takes the first pitch, strike 1 outside corner, and over the last 14 games, Hodges is batting .392 with 13 runs batted in, 7 multi-hit games in those 14.
And you look at Marin, I mean, overall, team batting average just .252, but with that pitching and some timely hitting, most of the timely hits coming from number 6 at the plate.
0-1 off speed, just outside, maybe a little high, so the count out even at 1-1. Hodges, the sophomore out of Petaluma High, batted .250 last year as a true freshman in 18 games.
And I don't know about you, Zach, but I'm enjoying being behind home plate, our old press box here.
To see the strike and ball count. Curved ball, paints the corner, so big strike there. 1-2 now to Patrick Hodges. 1 down here, top of the first. We're just getting started. The Mariners coming in, 12-4 in the BVC, 21-7 overall. Solano 10-6 in the BVC, 16-10 overall. 2 games back of the Mariners. They've faced each other twice this year, and they split the season series so far. So a big-time 2-game series here with Marin. Good block by Brasher on the 1-2, so the count now 2-2 to Hodges. And the first 2 matchups, Anderson, Herrick, both got a W. Arguably the 2 top pitchers in the BVC.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that the previous 2 games, both excellent games, Anderson and Herrick going at it, and they'll be the starters for Thursday's game. That'll be at the College of Marin.
2-2 fastball. Hodges could not check his swing, swung through it. So a big-time strikeout for Anthony Pizzola, 2 down. And looking at the Falcons' defense, the usual Crosby at first. JQ back in the lineup here today at second. Fernandez at short. Tucker Bishop at third. Of course, Brasher the catcher. Pizzola pitching. Ibarra in left.
The Cisco Kid!
Tolbert getting a start in center. And Zach Wells, of course, out and right. And Stover elected to pick a new DH today. Speedy getting the day off. And Danny Mills in the 6th spot here this afternoon for Scott Stover and the Falcons. And Danny Mills has played well when he's got a chance to get in there. Batting .350 this year. First pitch low to Ben Shea, batting .250 this year, 6 runs batted in, and also 2 for the Mariners lineup. A change about 20 minutes before first pitch. Francis Griffin now the starting center fielder, replacing Roger Ferenzi, and Ferenzi batting .306 this year with 9 RBI, so maybe a little injury happened before.
Yeah, it had to be something because you certainly want him in the lineup.
1-0, weekly hit to second. JQ fields it, flips to Fernandez, and that is how the top of the first ends. Infield single and a walk. Pizzola gets out of the inning, no run scathed. Bottom of the first, no score. Now we get a look at Marin's 3rd starter, Will Wyatt, and phenomenal numbers for Will Wyatt this year. 4-2 overall, 2.53 RA, and 46 and a third. 47 strikeouts and 17 walks for the lefty, and opponents only batting a .192 against Will White. Will White, the sophomore out of San Rafael High. David Fernandez has been on fire, steps into the box, shows bunt, pulls it back, and Will White has won 4 of his last 5 decisions. During the BVC, he's 4-1, 2.10 ERA. Opponents batting 180 in his last 5 starts against Will White. 1-0 way outside, ball 2. And David Fernandez has been on fire as of late, has 7 multi-hit games in his last 9, has at least 1 hit in 8 of those 9 games. And it all started with the walk-off hit against Laney. 2-0 outside, so Fernandez quickly ahead 3-0, and that gives us a sec to run through Solano's order. Fernandez leading off, Wells in the 2 spot, Crosby the 3-hitter, JQ, Bishop, Mills, Brasher, Ibarra, and Jordan Tolbert round out the lineup. 3-0 fastball paints the inside corner for strike 1, and Tommy Britzoff, the catcher. Hodges at third, Bosch Chancic at short, Boeri at second, Ryan Burke at first. 3-1, fouled away, and from left to right, Casey Levy, Roger Frenzy, who was scratched earlier, now number 3, Griffin in the center field spot, and Ben Shea in right.
And Fernandez now 35 hits on the season, especially from the leadoff position. That ties him with Alex Crosby for most hits on the team.
3-2 low, so leadoff walk for David Fernandez. And important for Solano to find a way to get some early runs. We were talking with Jordan Tolbert and Gio Torres, who came in last week for Falcons Baseball Weekly. And they were talking about the most important thing in this series is to get on board early. You got to find a way to rattle these pitchers. I mean,
and that's going to be hard.
3 of the top 5 pitchers in the BVC when looking at ERA. Tyler Ehrig, the closer, number 1. Ben Herrick, number 2. And also,
is it Jake Barron?
Jake Barron, number 3. Wells gets a bunt down perfectly. White fields it, only plays first. So Zach Wells does his job, gets a sac bunt down. Fernandez now in scoring position with 1 down.
I'm the boss, the owner, head honcho.
Boy, and Zach Wells showing his speed, getting down the base pass. He was close to beating that one out.
Now Alex Crosby comes up with Fernandez at second, 1 down. Crosby batting .347 this year, 1 home run and a team high 20 RBIs. Has at least 1 hit of 22 of the 25 games he's played in. Lefty on lefty matchup as that pitch misses a little low maybe.
Yeah, Crosby with 6 doubles, 2 triples, home run, .475 slugging percentages. So he has been solid for the Falcons all season.
And he has 6 RBIs in his last 3 games. 1-0, little outside, so Crosby quickly ahead on White. 2-0 and a small strike zone here early on from Trujillo.
Yeah, I really saw that with Pizzola pitching in the first inning. Trujillo not giving the pitchers much on the corner. As long as he's consistent, all you can ask for from the home plate umpire.
2-0 fastball, Crosby with a nice cut. Fouls it down the left side for strike 1. And Crosby against Los Medanos last Tuesday had a big-time game, went 4 for 5, and looked like he had the game-winning hit.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be the hero in that game with that big double in the bottom of the 8th.
Had 4 RBIs in that one. And he really fired him up before last game. The 2-1 high, actually the game on Friday afternoon against Yuba College. Went hitless, but didn't matter. He went Hunter Pence on him. Had a big-time speech and really got the troop going.
That is a funny commercial, isn't it?
Right?
Germans bomb Pearl Harbor.
3-1 high. And you could tell Will White was pitching Alex Crosby very careful right there. Knowing Nick Speeney's not in the lineup today, lefty on lefty matchup.
Exactly.
So
number 7.
Who would you rather face in that situation, Alex Crosby or Justin Clayton?
Yeah, White didn't want to give Crosby anything that he could drive anywhere, and really on that one foul ball that he hit sharply, that was the only pitch he really challenged him with the letter high fastball. Crosby just a little late getting around.
So 2 walks for Will White here in the first inning. Only 17 walks coming into today. A nasty off-speed, but just outside, and small strike zone here this afternoon.
Yeah, pitchers get no love on the corners.
JQ finally ended his 0 for 18 slump, went 2 for 4 in Friday's game against Yuba.
Yeah, big game on Friday against Yuba for JQ.
Got the day off on Saturday. First game he's missed all year. 1-0 fastball just outside, so the count 2-0. And if you're Will White right here, you've got to be frustrated. I mean, you think those are perfect pitches, but the Blues calling them a little outside and a little low. I mean,
that was right at the letters.
An excellent job by Alex Boeri, one of the sophomore leaders, the second baseman coming in saying, don't worry about the blue. Just go out and do your thing, Mr. Will White.
And we saw Pizzola really have to make adjustments in the first inning and saw that when he finally got the strikeout against Hodges.
2-0 way outside. So the count 3-0 to JQ and Tucker Bishop on deck. And Tucker Bishop's a guy I would love to have up with the bases loaded with one down. Bishop's been solid all year, batting .326. JQ, 17 runs batted in, probably taking the 3-0 pitch all the way here. Fastball right down the middle, strike one. And Quilayton, 6 extra base hits this year, .367 slugging percentage, .256 average on the year.
Yeah, he's had some big hits for the Falcons this year. All started off with that jack in game 1 to give them the victory.
20th inning against DVC. DVC not off to a good start here this year. 3-1. Runners take off late. Fernandez down, and he is tagged out. So it looked like that was a hit and run. Stover having a talk with Fernandez now, and looks like maybe he missed a sign there. And JQ had a pitch to hit, though. 3-1 fastball right down the middle and swung through it. So that is how the second out is recorded here. Crosby now in scoring position with 2 down, full count to Justin Quilayton. So base running error here early on for the Falcons. 3-2 low, so nice at bat from JQ, gets the walk. But now Bishop, instead of coming up with the bases loaded, comes up with the first and second with 2 down.
And so Will White, that's 2 walks in the inning. And you look at his numbers, 47 strikeouts to just 17 walks coming in. And it's not so much he's struggling with his control, he's struggling to find the strike zone. And it's a small one.
And usually the first inning's a filling out process for pitchers. And Bishop takes that one for a low strike. And you can already tell the home plate umpire is calling those low strikes right at the knees, not really giving the pitchers either side of the corner. So you got to find a way to just keep it low if you're Pizzola and White here this afternoon.
And that's really low to get a low strike on Tucker Bishop.
Bishop got a nice pitch to hit, fouls it down the right side. So Will White 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Well, Bishop, like Crosby, couple batters ahead, finally got a fastball over the plate, but just jumped on it a little too quickly and fouls it off.
So Will White quickly ahead on Tucker Bishop, 0-2. Bishop's had at least 1 hit in 12 of his last 16 games. 0-2, fastball, poked. Going to be a tough play for the first baseman, Burke, and that one is going to drop. Fair ball. Crosby, play at the plate, and he is in safely. Falcons jump on top early with a 2-out RBI single for Tucker Bishop, and that one just found a home and dropped.
Yeah, that was just a blooper. Ben Shea coming in quickly from right field, thought he might have a chance. You also saw Ryan Burke going out from first base and just dropped right in the middle of him. And then it took a weird little carom, like it had some spin on it, and it shot over out of fair territory.
By an inch, too.
Yeah, it was close, and Crosby boy hustling all the way, beats the throw in. Falcons on the board first, take a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Danny Mills getting his 2nd straight start. .350 average this year, leads the Falcons. Takes the first pitch, strike 1, and Danny Mills, a right-handed hitter, getting the start against the lefty Will White. Nick Spini, I can guarantee we're going to see him some point later in this game as a pinch hitter. Spini's been on fire as of late, batting over .500 over his last 6 games.
Boy, he's had some big hits in the last month.
Mills takes off the 0-1. Bishop takes off, and he is tagged out, and looked like the Falcons are maybe going with their play, and Bishop, instead of trying to get in the pickle, gets tagged out at second, but Bishop does get the big out 2 RBI single, 1-0 Solano after 1. Top of the second.
First baseman, Ryan Burke.
Mariners send up Ryan Burke, Brian Boschanczyk, and Tommy Britzoff, the catcher. Ryan Burke batting .262 this year. Takes the first pitch right down the middle, strike 1. So 2 base running errors by the Falcons in the bottom of the first. Get 2 outs on the base pass, but still get 1 run in on the 2-out RBI single for Tucker Bishop. 0-1 misses low, count now 1-1, and I didn't know if did you catch the Texas Rangers game yesterday when Joe Nathan threw the exact same pitch right there. It was called strike 3 to end the game. The worst strike call I've ever seen. Sharply hit to Bishop, fields it, strong throw to first, 1 up, 1 down.
And to answer your question, I did not.
You got to check it out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Even Joe Nathan's walking off the mound and just says, "Wow." Couldn't believe it. To get his 300th career save. It was horrible. It was the worst strike call I've ever seen. It was like Little League.
So what was the score in the game at the time?
It was a 1-run game.
Oh,
it was 5-4. Tampa Bay had runner on first, and Ben Zobrist went down, I guess, looking. Would have been ball 4. So the first pitch loaned outside to Brian Bosch-Chancik. 257 average this year for the catcher. 9 extra base hits for Brian Bosch-Chancik, the freshman out of Forest Knolls High. This one hit to right. Wind playing tricks with Wells, going back, and that one carried almost to the warning track. So 2 quickly retired for Pizzola here in the second.
Boy, good job by Wells, just staying with that one, drifting back. And you spoke with the young guns yesterday, Gio Torres and Edgar Ibarra, Jordan Tolbert, the 3
Edgar
freshmen.
Ibarra didn't like to talk much.
He's still trying to find his personality.
He was ready for that interview to be over right when it started. But yeah, three outstanding young guns for the Falcons, and they've done an outstanding job in the outfield this year for Scott Stover. 2 errors combined and over 100 chances for Ibarra, Tolbert, and Torres. Tommy Britzoff, the catcher, 208 average this year. Takes the 1-0 outside corner for strike 1.
Pizzola seems a lot more comfortable now, too, with the strike zone.
High chopper and fair ball. Bishop, throw to first, high. Crosby gets the foot down just in time. 1-2-3 inning. 5 in a row retired for Pizzola through 1.5. Falcons on top, 1-0. Danny Mills leading off here, bottom of the second inning. Mills, 350 average this year, and got the start on Saturday. Went 1 for 3, got a big time RBI single in the 8th inning when the Falcons blew the game wide open. It was a close contested game, 3-1 going into the bottom of the 8th, and Falcons tacked on 4 big runs. And it all started in the top of the 8th when the pinch hitter got hit by a pitch by Altman to lead off the inning. Then Brasher picked him off, went Yadier Molina on him.
And you look at both those games against Yuba, the score is 7-1, 7-2, but both those games a lot closer than the score indicated. That first game, 3-1 game going into the 6th. And the second game on Saturday tied as well.
The 1-0 low to Mills, and Mills has been fabulous this year. The super utility guy, 409 on base percentage, 7 for 20 this year with the bat, 350 average, 5 RBIs. Taken all the way, 2-0 fastball, strike 1. And we have 2 of the best managers in all of Northern California here this afternoon. Stover in his 11th season. Steve Behringer in his 13th season with the Mariners. 2-0 low, count 3-1. Behringer 286 and 219 in his 12-plus seasons with the Mariners. Hasn't done so well in the playoffs, though. 1-11 record in the postseason for Marin College. Mills takes the 2-1. Gets the low strike, so the count now 2-2, and Behringer was the 2009 BVC Coach of the Year, and he's led Marin to 7 playoff appearances in the past 12 seasons, and looking like he's going to get number 8 here in year number 13. Swing and a miss, nice pitch by White, that one tailing away, so 1 up, 1 down.
So both pitchers kind of settling in, getting used to that small strike zone. And boy, talking about Behringer and Scott Stover. I mean, since 2007, the Falcons have pretty much dominated the Bay Valley Conference. Didn't win last year, Laney did. But it's always Marin that usually is right there in second, always pushing Solano. In fact, tied with them. I think it might have been 2009 or 10.
Asher pops this one a mile high. Burke in foul ground. Makes the put out, so 2 quick outs for Will White. And partner, you're right on the nail on the head right there. 2009, they tied for the BVC title. Solano had the tiebreaker, so they got the better seed in the playoffs.
Didn't matter. I think that's when they faced Delta.
Yeah,
got swept.
And in 2006, Marin also won the BVC crown. Last season, Laney won. It was the first team to win the BVC outside of Solano and Marin since they started the new 8-team conference in the 2006 season.
Boy, that was a nice pitch by White right at the knees of Ibarra.
Ibarra chops this or hits this one the other way, foul. And Ibarra batting .319 this year, and Ibarra riding a 4-game hitting streak, has been playing really good baseball as of late.
And Ibarra, the lefty, facing the left-handed pitching White.
0-2, curveball, hit up the box. Going to be a tough play for Boeri. Fields it off his back foot just in time. So a 1-2-3 inning for Will White. And 1-0 Solano going to the top of the third. Top of the third, Francis Griffin, the number 9 hitter, leading off. Then back to the top of the order with Alex Boeri and Matt Dufford.
Francis Griffin.
So Pizzola had a 1-2-3 second inning. He's retired 5 in a row. First pitch over for strike one, and talking to Jordan Tolbert yesterday and asked him what the most important thing that the pitching staff needs to do. Exactly
Throw
that.
strikes.
Throw some strikes. 0-1, fastball, fouled straight back.
Woo!
Orlando didn't even get scared at all. The camera frame didn't move an inch. And now you got that little hole up there at the net. A little more scary now.
Orlando Torres, of course, on the camera today, doing an outstanding job, as usual.
Throwaway pitch on the 0-2, way outside. Griffin, 5 RBIs this year, and if he does get on the base pass, 5 for 5 in stolen bases this season. 1-2, curveball, nasty,
Wow.
gets him looking. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Pizzola, 6 in a row retired.
Boy, when Pizzola's got that breaking ball working, he is so tough to hit. He just keeps you off balance up there, and especially now working both sides of the plate. It's a good start for the Pez dispenser.
One of the nicknames that actually stuck. Cisco Kid, just shaking my head on that one. First pitch way outside to Boeri.
Hey, we got him to say it in the show.
Barely.
You have a new nickname for Edgar, Mumbles.
Kid has been phenomenal with the glove and the bat this year. High chopper, Crosby, flipped it to Pizzola. You could hear, I don't know who it was in the Falcons dugout, but you could hear, get over.
Well, he got over in a hurry, didn't he? Pizzola showing some speed there.
Now batting the DH, Matt Dufford.
So 7 in a row retired for Pizzola. Boeri is now grounded out twice. Dufford got the infield single on a line drive right at Pizzola. First pitch outside corner, strike one, and the new pull came out today. Marin stays in at number 5. Solano dropped a couple of spots, now number 10. Chopper to JQ at second, takes it on 2 hops, has all day, throws to first. 1-2-3 inning for the Pez dispenser. 8 in a row retired for Pizzola. Through 2.5, Falcons up 1-0. So bottom of the third for the Falcons. Tolbert, Fernandez, and Wells due up. Jordan Tolbert coming out to some Drake. Started from the bottom.
Third for Solano.
Starting on the bottom of the order.
Number 17, Jordan Tolbert.
And Jordan Tolbert is a really good kid. You could just tell during the interview yesterday.
And he picked Louisville.
I know. Why'd you have to bring it up? Hey, that was a great national championship game last night, and Tolbert picked the right team. There's a rule. Whatever I say, pick the opposite. I mean, you can be rich if you just listen to the opposite of what I bet on. First pitch over, strike one. Tolbert batting .241 this year, 5 RBIs for the freshman. Hits this one. Left center, tailing back. Griffin gets under it. 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, wind not much of a factor after, boy, yesterday here in Cordelia, I mean, wind's just howling, and it was windy this morning, but it's really died down, and pretty nice, comfortable day. You'll still get a little bit of a breeze blowing in, but not like what we expected.
So now David Fernandez steps into the box with 1 down, nobody on. Drew a walk in his first at-bat. Shows bunt, pulls it back, just outside, ball 1. And I really think Fernandez has been the guy that's been their most important player outside of Alex Crosby here in the last 2 weeks. 5-game hitting streak for Fernandez. Hits this one foul, and it's going to drop down the right side. So count now 1-1 to Fernandez, and Over his last 9 games, he's batting .450 with 5 runs batted in, 7 multi-hit games, 10 runs batted in during that stretch.
And he just looks so comfortable at the plate.
My mistake, 10 RBIs on the year, 5 of those 10 coming during that stretch. And Will White throws a fastball right by him, count 1-2.
Yeah, that fastball had a little tail on it. Broke away from Fernandez. Fernandez, good cut, but just swung over it.
1-2, poked foul. Nice job by Fernandez to at least see one more pitch. And looking at the past matchups between Marin and Solano, I mean, this is arguably one of the best rivalries in all of Northern California. But Solano, it's kind of been one-sided. Solano's 21-7 since 2006 and 12-2 here at now building the Weiss Yarborough Stadium. Little renovation, I believe, 2009? Nice take on the 1-2, Fernandez. Count now 2-2.
And they've had some big comebacks against Marin. I remember last year they were down, I think it was like 8-2 in the 7th inning, came back, won that game 10-9, went on a 10-game win streak after that.
2-2, hit out a play down the right side. So Fernandez putting on a little battle with Will White. Will White is retired 4 in a row. Zach Wells on deck. 2-2. Weekly hit. Hodges from third, fields it. Throw. Just in time. Outstanding stretch by the first baseman, Ryan Burke. Just beat Fernandez by a half-second.
Nice play by Hodges, too, able to charge, stay with it, long throw. And Fernandez, who really runs well, he's just so tall and lanky, gets down the base paths in a hurry. But the throw by Hodges with the excellent stretch over there by Ryan Burke, as you said, Zach. And another out for Will White here in the 3rd.
So Wells now up with nobody on, 2 down, and can't check a swing. Strike 1. Wells got the sac bunt down in his first AB. Wells has been playing really well as of late. 4-game hitting streak, .416 over the last 4 games for Zach Wells. 3 doubles in the last 4 games, too. Quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Wells has been phenomenal all season long, especially in right field. He's reached base safely in 24 of the 26 games this season. Has at least 1 hit in 22 of the 26. High chopper going to be a tough play. White lets Hodges barehand it. Strong throw, not in time. The speedy Wells beats it out. And outstanding effort from Patrick Hodges with the bare hand, but not in time to get the speedy Zach Wells.
Well, he's had 2 tough chances in a row, that one, because of that big bounce that it took. You could tell that that was going to be a tough chance, as you said, and Wells just runs too well for Hodges to have a chance to make the throw and beat Wells. And that's just an example of what you were talking about. Zach Wells does so many things to help his baseball team win a game. Beats out an infield hit, keeps the inning alive, hopefully drive up the pitch count, and guess who's up?
Let's see if Crosby swings at the first pitch. White's been throwing a lot of first pitch fastball. Throw over to first. Let's see if Crosby's waiting for one, if he's going to try and make White burn some pitches here.
Wells, excellent base runner.
Comes with the curveball on the first pitch. Weekly hit to second. Boeri fields it, throw to first. That is how the bottom of the 3rd ends. Wells with a 2-out infield single, stranded at first. 1-0 Mariners, losing to Solano through 3. Top of the 4th, Mariners setting up their 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Pizzola has shut down 8 in a row. And Pizzola has been money through the first 3. Long way to go, though. And
now batting.
You know this is going to be a close game. There's been 2 1-run games in the first 2 of this series, and living up to the hype here through 3. 1-0 Solano, a 2-out RBI single for Tucker Bishop in the bottom of the 1st. Levy swinging at the first pitch. Fouls it straight back.
A little closer to the action here, right behind home plate.
I like it way better right here. You just sit right behind home plate. I mean, it's cool over there on the opponent's
You're at least up a little bit higher, a little better vantage point, but you just see so much more right here behind home plate.
0-1 outside, ball 1. Levy got the 1-out walk in the first inning. Pizzola had runners on first and second in the first. Got a strikeout and a 4-6 ground out to end the inning. 1-1 just low, counting out 2-1. What a pitching matchup. Probable pitchers for Thursday, Ryan Anderson and Ben Herrick set to do it again. This one fouled right by the Falcons dugout. Max Van Dyke with the barehanded grab. Should count as an out, right? Gotta love that guy. I mean, Max Van Dyke, talk about full of energy. Perfect guy to have in your clubhouse.
He was playing air guitar with the rake to Sublime about 10 minutes before the start of the game.
He missed a couple of notes, though. 2-2 low, count full.
He's actually a really good guitar player. At least that's what he tells
looks like
me.
It.
Yeah.
You look at the guy, you're like, okay, he probably knows how to play the guitar pretty well. Got the long hair.
But you look at him, you think, oh, maybe that guy surfs. He's afraid of the water.
Wow. Come on, Max.
Well, he grew up in winters.
Okay, that makes sense. 3-2. Chop to first. Takes a tricky hop. Crosby stays with it. Steps on the bag. 9 in a row retired for Pizzola.
You know, Crosby has really been outstanding defensively at first base. And, you know, the start of his career here at Solano started out at third, kind of struggled defensively. But, boy, once they moved him to first, he is an outstanding first baseman.
Well, he always had a great glove at third. He's just too strong. I mean, he was Chuck Knoll blocking it over there, just airmailing throws. I mean, the kid, he talk about an athlete, though. I mean, he's built like a football player. Outstanding speed. Excellent with the bat. Talk about a 5-tool player. I mean, you got Crosby. 0-1 curve low. Count 1-1 to the cleanup hitter, Patrick Hodges. Pizzola got a big strikeout in the first inning on Hodges.
Yeah, Crosby and Wells, boy, they're just ball players. Outstanding ball players. They do everything well.
Low and outside. And Hodges has been raking as of late. Had his 12-game hit streak come to an end on Saturday against Contra Costa. Went 0 for 4. Batting close to 400 over the last 14 games. Nice cut. Fouls it straight back. So now Deuce is wild. Count 2-2.
Yeah, Pizzola just challenged him with the fastball kind of tailing away. Good cut by Hodges, but fouls it back. And really, Hodges is the guy you want to be able to get in the lineup. Because you look at the overall order, you know, Boeri, the leadoff hitter, hitting over 300, but then Patrick Hodges.
And the Falcons done a good job containing Patrick Hodges this year. 2 for 9 against Solano. No RBI, no extra base hits. This one smoked right at Fernandez on a line drive. 2 up, 2 down.
Hit it hard, but right at the count.
And Falcons defense coming out, you can tell they're focused, ready for this game. And you could just tell before this game, about an hour before first pitch, I was driving out. Forgot my rosters at home, so I had to go back and get them. But you just see a lot of the Falcon players just sitting out in front of the clubhouse and just ready for today's game. You could just see their face focused. And they know how big of a game this is. They're 2 back of Marin. Got a big-time matchup coming up on Thursday with Anderson. You got to go against arguably the best pitcher in the BVC, and Ben Herrick. 6-1 this year, 1.55 ERA. Pizzola comes on the 0-1 low, count 1-1. And the only loss was to Ryan Anderson. So, you know, Ben Herrick wants to go out and beat Solano for the second time this year. And same thing with Ryan Anderson.
Boy, that'd be a nice game to do live, wouldn't it?
Right, 1-1, fastball right by him, count 1-2. Ben Shea 0 for 1. 4-6 ground out to end the first with runners on first and second. Batting .250 this year. The freshman out of Woodacre High.
Got him.
Not able to check his swing. Pizzola gets his 3rd strikeout, and 10 in a row retired for the Pez dispenser through 3.5. Falcons still nursing a 1-0 lead. Falcons send up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters here in the bottom of the 4th. Justin Clayton, Tucker Bishop, followed by Danny Mills. JQ got the walk in the first inning.
Yeah, it was 3 walks in the first inning, that infield hit. You'd think the Falcons might have more runs to show for it, but got that all-important run, and that's the difference in this game as we head into the bottom of the 3rd.
And Wyatt was still trying to find out the strike zone in the first inning. It's now found it. Hasn't walked a batter since the first. First pitch swing and fouled out of play, strike 1. And Wyatt has retired 6 of the last 7 batters. The only hit was the infield single for Zach Wells in the previous inning. Clayton swings through the 0-1. Count 0-2 to JQ.
Yeah, nobody has really hit the ball hard thus far. There was that line drive to Fernandez in the last inning, but nobody really getting good metal on. Two good pitchers today.
0-2, nasty curve in the dirt. Swings through it.
Whoa.
Catcher Britsoff throws to first. So strikeout for Will White. Second strikeout of the afternoon for the lefty.
That wasn't too far from the back of JQ's head on that throw.
Now batting third base.
Tucker Bishop.
Number 1. Tucker
Put the Falcons on board with a big 2-out single in the first. Now up with nobody on and 1 down. And Bishop was one of the most touted recruits coming out, and Stover lucky to get his hands on the 5'6" freshman out of Benicia High. I believe he won a section title with Benicia in 2010. Reached the championship game in 2011. 1-0 low, count 2-0.
Yeah, Benicia's had some good players over the years. Nick Altman, also out of Benicia.
2-0 outside, so Bishop quickly ahead on White, 3-0.
And Bishop with that compact frame, just a smaller strike zone.
3-0, Bishop taking all the way, and Mark Anthony Smith's best friend, Eric Olson, also from Benicia, still hasn't paid for his dent in his car just yet. I mean, that's a long shot. I mean, that's about 400 feet. 3-1, Bishop takes it low, ball 4.
Did you see the dent?
I didn't, actually. I'll have a chat with him after the game, rub it in a little bit. So now Danny Mills comes up with Bishop on first, 1 down.
Now batting the DH.
Yeah, I mean, all the years we've been doing baseball here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium, how many balls would you say we've seen actually hit out of the yard here? I'm going to say 5, 6, maybe 10 at the most.
My favorite one, always Victor Romero.
Yeah. Against Kenyatta.
That just brings back chills. I mean, that was a big-time situation. And Victor Romero raking at OK State. 4 homers this year for the sophomore catcher down there. Matt Holliday's brother is the head coach for Oklahoma State. Quick throw over to first. So Victor Romero got to work with Matt Holliday in the offseason, getting ready for this year. I mean, not many kids get a chance to work with Matt Holliday to sure up your swing. I know you're not a big fan of Matt Holliday. Came here to the A's and didn't play too well, and then went to St. Louis and started raking again. Throw over to first. Bishop back in. And you can, I could guarantee if Bishop got picked off here, I don't think we'd see him.
Yeah, we'd see Fortney at first, right. Crosby over at third. Next inning.
But Tucker Bishop's in one of the Falcons' most important players this year.
Big
Mills
swing.
Got the high cheese, fouled it straight back, and Will White got Danny Mills strike out to lead off the second.
You know, and even though Tucker Bishop has had some mishaps on the base paths, who do you think has the most stolen bases for Solano?
5 for 5. 5 for 6 now. After he got caught in the first.
So just 1 out here, bottom of the 4th.
Fernandez and Wells with 4 stolen bases this year, 1 behind Tucker Bishop. Throw over to first. Bishop knew it was coming. Back standing up. And looking at the top 20 rankings in Northern California, we already talked about Marin and Solano both in the top 10. Los Medanos at 14. Mendocino at 17. Yuba at 18. So 5 BVC teams in the top 20. Mills can't check the swing.
I can't remember the last time 2 teams from the Bay Valley Conference have been in the top 10.
It's been a while.
Because even Solano in the past has had trouble breaking into the top 10.
The BVC, I mean, this is the best I've ever seen this conference. You've got 6 teams within 3 games of first place. Mills takes the 1-2 outside low, so the count 2-2.
Good eye by Danny Boy there. And it's really been the pitching too.
And the only team that's not ranked in the top 20 has been the hottest team in the BVC. Laney's won 5 in a row. They beat Marin, Mendocino twice, and swept Los Medanos. They've outscored their opponents 40-8 over the last 5 games. And Solano ends the season with Laney. 2-2, fastball high outside. Bishop, big lead, gets back after the throw by the catcher, Tommy Britsoff.
He better get back. That would have not been fun coming back to the dugout.
I wonder what's going in the head of Scott Stover when he's got Bishop on the base pass.
You know, he's barking at him.
And Bishop is actually a very good base runner. 5 for 6 in stolen bases. He's had a couple of errors, but who hasn't? I mean, a lot of people have had base running errors this year, and that first inning, though, the Falcons could have tacked on more runs. 2 of the outs came on the base pass. Mills, nice cut to stay alive. Count stays full.
Nice movement on that pitch.
Yeah, Will White's calmed down after the first inning. Had 3 first-inning walks. And didn't issue a walk until Tucker Bishop just got one in the previous AB.
Well, you can tell runs are going to be at a premium today, so you got to take advantage when you have a chance to score.
Mills pokes this one, and that one is just fair. And Bishop holds up at second. Mills now at first, so a big-time one-out single for Danny Mills. Runners on first and second with only 1 out.
And good at-bat by Mills. Boy, he fought off some tough pitches, hung in there, got a pitch, and just drives it into right field, right down the line.
And just fair. And you got to just tip your cap to our cameraman, Orlando. I mean, that guy, he should be getting paid already.
Yeah, baseball has got to be the toughest sport to do with one camera.
And he does it with ease. He should call Fox, like, you guys need some help? Get a hold of Tommy's uncle.
He's going to come help us do our next live webcast
before the game. So Brasher up with a couple runners on, 1 down. Brasher only batting .197 this year, but does have an on-base percentage at .397. He's been hit by 11 pitches this year, so he's got to have a little bit of football in him still, a little bit of contact here and there. Brasher takes the curveball, nasty pitch from White. Count 0-1 to Brasher.
I mean, that started away and then broke over the plate. Ended up on the inside corner to Brasher.
And I don't know if a lot of people would realize this, but Aaron Brasher's reached base safely in 15 straight games.
Really?
Pretty remarkable when you got a .197 average, but you know how to get on base. Fastball in the dirt, count 1-1, and Brasher's been one of my favorite players to cover here at Solano. I mean, just the intensity he brings and the job he does behind the plate. I mean, he really is the reason why Solano's pitching staff has really come into their own here in the last 3 weeks, is because of number 21 behind the plate.
Yeah, he's the Iron Man.
1-1, smoked, right between third and short. Stover's going to hold Bishop at third, so the bases are now loaded for Edgar Ibarra, the Cisco Kid.
And he's been hot lately. Even though he's batting in the 8-hole, Edgar Ibarra, he's a guy that's been swinging the bat nicely. And even in his last at-bat against Will White, he fought off some tough pitches and almost had a base hit up the middle. Alex Boeri, nice play going over towards the second base bag and making a strong throw to just barely get him.
Yeah, Boeri had to make an outstanding play to retire Ibarra.
And Falcons certainly, with just 1 out, bases loaded, want to scratch another run home.
And if you're Marin, obviously you want the double player of the strikeout here, but Ibarra has been a tough guy to strike out this year. He's only struck out 3 times in 58 plate appearances, so he's averaging a strikeout per 19 at-bats. Riding a 4-game hitting streak coming into today's game. .428 average and 3 runs batted in during the last 4 games. And as we talked about earlier, he helped Rodriguez win a D3 section title. They beat El Camino in the championship game 3-0. And talk about pitching. Rodriguez had one of the better pitching staffs last season.
Well, Jake Cabero is on the Solano team this year. He's banged up. He can't pitch, but he's doing a little pinch running, plays in the outfield sometimes. He was a big part of the pitching staff.
Big-time situation right here. Bases loaded, 1 down, bottom of the 4th. Ibarra up, going against the lefty White. Takes the first pitch, fastball. It just catches the outside corner for strike 1.
Nice pitch by White that time. And the ball just kind of tailing away. Ibarra thought he might get the call.
Bishop on third, Mills at second. Brasher over at first base. Ibarra swings through the nasty curveball. That one just bit right at the end. Ibarra swings over. It count 0-2, and Ibarra, tough guy to strike out. So one of the better 2-strike hitters in the BVC. He's going to shorten up his swing a little bit, just try and make contact. Third baseman Hodges playing right on the grass. And Ibarra swings through the nasty curveball, just trying to get a piece. So Will White brings out his best pitches in a big-time situation to get a big out. 2 down now. Jordan Tolbert coming up.
Now batting.
Avara's got to be a little more patient there, up there trying to make something happen. But he swung at 2 pitches clearly out of the zone, helping out Will White in that at-bat.
And those are just nasty curveballs, 0-1 and 0-2. And then he comes back with a curveball and paints this one perfectly on the outside corner at the knee, strike 1.
Well, he gets the 2 freshmen in the bottom of the order, so if you got to face guys, this is where Will White wants to be in the order.
Tolbert flew out to Griffin to lead off the 3rd. Bases loaded, 2 down. Can't check a swing. This one gets away. Bishop's going to score, slides in for fun. Both runners also advance 90 feet. So Britsov could not keep that one from getting away from him on the curveball in the dirt. And I believe Tolbert couldn't check his swing, so the count should be 0-2. If it counts 0-2, you could hear the home plate umpire yell out 0-2 from Alexis Trujillo.
A big break by the Falcons because Tolbert completely fooled on that pitch.
So now a count 0-2. Mills at 3rd. Brasher on 2nd. Bishop touched home. 2-0 Solano. So Tolbert going to shorten his swing up with 2 strikes. Comes with the fastball. Actually a little bit of breaking action on the curve. Slew it down a little bit. Strike 3, but the Falcons get another run on the board thanks to the wild pitch. Bishop touches home after the 1-out walk. 2-0 Falcons through 4. Top of the 5th. Mariners will send up their 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Burke, Bosch-Chancik, and Tommy Britsov.
Off the 5th for Marin, first baseman.
Anthony Pizzola in the zone right now, and my mistake, I mean, I know he's not Ryan Anderson or anything, but pitchers love their stats. I said he retired 10 in a row, 11 in a row shut down for Pizzola. This one fouled out of play down the right side.
Oh, yeah, we got to make sure we have our numbers right with both Ryan Anderson
he got
and
Pizzola.
Pizzola.
Right? He said he had a walk, and it wasn't a walk. It was catcher's interference.
Yeah.
But, hey, sorry. I mean, it goes down as a walk. It's a walk, buddy. Yeah, Anderson's a fun guy to mess around with. Curveball hit up the box, past JQ. Leadoff single for Ryan Burke.
So that breaks the scoreless, or excuse me, the streak by Pizzola. I think he had retired 10 batters in a row.
Now you're doing what I did, 11.
11, baby.
Brian Bosch-Chancik.
That's what you just said.
Only the 2nd hit. Pizzola surrendered. Brian Bosch-Chancik, the catcher, flew out to Wells just in front of the warning track, and his last at-bat, his only at-bat. 257 average this year, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to take a wild guess. His older brother, Corey Bosch-Chancik, played here
last year and the year before.
Yep. Right down the middle, strike 1, and yeah, Bosch-Chancik's not a Johnson-type last name, right?
Yeah, not going to forget that one. His brother Corey, I believe, played center field. 2-year starter for the Mariners. Good ball player. And little bro Brian picking up where he left off.
Gets a bunt down, and this one's going to carry him foul. So the count now 0-2. Yeah, his older brother Corey, last year batted .317 with 15 RBIs and scored 31 runs. And his younger brother, Brian Bosch-Chancik, currently riding a 9-game hitting streak and has been hitting really well as of late, batting .323 over his last 9. Against Solano this year, he's 2 for 9, 1 double. Has struck out twice.
Yeah, and his problem in his freshman year has just been the strikeouts. He's got 20 coming into the game.
0-2. Hit well to center. Tolbert going back, makes a catch in right center. And you can hear Stover. If it's coming your way, cut him off. I mean, that just shows you how much trust Stover has in Zach Wells. But Tolbert has only had 2 errors the entire season. And Tolbert's been phenomenal when he's got a chance to start in center, too. And the one thing I've noticed with Torres and Tolbert in center this year is they get great jumps on the ball. I mean, right when that was hit, Tolbert knew exactly where it was going to go. They're just happy the winds kind of quieted down a little bit right before first pitch, because around 12:30, the winds were
really swirling.
Crazy. I couldn't think of that word. Runner takes off. This one fouled out of play.
And you just say that, you can kind of hear the wind swirling around now. Gust of wind kind of picks up a little bit.
Jinx Pizzola. I said he shut down 11 in a row, and bam, single.
Bam.
Tommy Britsov grounded out to Bishop to end the 2nd inning.
Boy, he's taking a long look, too, at third base coach.
It's like, wait, what's that sign again? And I believe it was a hit and run on the last one. Late jump by Burke at first. This time he stays put. This one a little low, so the count 1-1.
Burke, pretty tall kid, only listed at 6'1", but he looks pretty tall there over at first, standing next to Crosby, who's holding him on the bag.
Tommy Britsoff in the box, 6'2" freshman at a Lafayette High. Righty on righty matchup with Pizzola. 1-1 fastball just outside, count now 2-1. Dealing with the number 8 hitter, Francis Griffin, who was just put into the lineup 20 minutes before the first pitch, replacing the hot-hitting Roger Ferenzi, who was riding a 6-game hitting streak coming into today. Runner takes off, swing and a miss. Brasher, throw gets away from JQ, but not deep enough where Burt can advance to third, and
it's going to be interference on the batter.
So batter's interference. So Tommy Britsoff is out. And obviously Burke now has to scamper back to first. And it clearly was. I mean, he was right in front of Brasher when he was trying to make the play. I was waiting to see when the home plate ump was going to make the call, and makes the call. So now just like that, 2 down. And talk about a big situation in this one. You would have had runner on second base with 1 down. Now you have a runner on first with 2 outs. And now the number 9 hitter, Francis Griffin, coming up. So
a discussion with the manager, Steve Behringer, coming over from third base to have a little chat with Trujillo. But you could tell when Brasher made the throw. How many times has he missed the bag by 10 feet?
Hey, it sure happened a lot against Los Medanos, so.
Francis Griffin.
And you heard Stover call that out even before Brasher threw the ball. Batter's interference.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy call to make. And, you know, umpires love to have chats. You want to figure out the dinner plans with the umpire, see what he's doing after the game, maybe go grab a beer.
And Britsoff, too. He's so tall and lanky, he's hard to throw over.
So now 2 down. Francis Griffin, number 9 hitter. 0 for 1. Pizzola got a strikeout on Griffin. Hits this one a mile high, shallow center. Tolbert coming in. He's got to battle the sun. And just like that, Falcons get out of the inning. Batter's interference, big-time call in the top of the 5th through 4.5. Falcons up 2-0 here at Billy Luis Yarborough Stadium. Bottom of the 5th. And yes, David Fernandez, all eyes are on you right now. I love it. Coming out to some Tupac. You can never go wrong when you come out to the best rapper of all time.
Who's that? Ha just kidding. Down with Pac, baby.
I know you're not that old.
I kind of like Biggie myself. How about the Cypress Hill? Is it the Cypress Hill gang?
They're not even top 50. In the dirt, if all 1.
Run DMC.
Not even top 30. Come on. Step your rap game up, sir.
NWA, baby.
Okay.
Enough said.
All right. I'll do
Ice
that.
Cube, Dr. Dre.
Come on, Eazy-E.
West Side.
How are you going to forget Eazy-E?
He died.
He should have got a hold of Magic. Count 2-0 to David Fernandez. It's a little different when you got deep pockets like Magic Irvin Johnson, right? Now, Eazy-E was balling, but not Magic Johnson balling. 2-0. Fernandez taking all the way. 2-1. So Fernandez looking for his first hit. He grounded out to third in the third. Got a leadoff walk in the first. Was caught stealing, trying to get to third. Fernandez hits this one weakly to the pitcher, White. Runs over to first, flips it underhand, 1 up, 1 down.
White made that look so easy. He just kind of stood there. The ball hit directly at him. Took a bounce and just bounced right up into his mitt at his side.
Number 6.
Jogs over to first.
Wells.
Really made that look easy.
Zach Wells. Sack bunt in the first. Had an infield single in the third. Extended his 4-game hitting streak. 5 straight in a row for Zach Wells with at least 1 hit. Curveball way outside, ball 1, and Zach Wells 6 for his last 13 at the plate.
Boy, if you didn't see that big the gold M on the hat and read the letters, you'd think White's pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
1-0 low, count 2-0, and
showing the socks like a real major leaguer.
Marin, Pittsburgh sure helped out the Dodgers last weekend. Dodgers got the 3-game sweep. Wells Fouls this one off. So count now 1 actually I think it's 2-1, I believe.
You could see Wells kind of lift his head up, take a little sigh. That was a pitch he liked and just kind of hit on top of it, drove it straight down into the plate.
I mean, Zach Wells is the type of guy you'd want your daughter to marry, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nice pitch by White that time, right at the knees outside corner.
Count 2-2. I mean, Zach Wells is a guy you could trust with your daughter to stay the night over.
Yeah,
He's not going to go out partying. Zach Wells, outstanding student, outstanding baseball player. It's a good dude. 2-2. Wells able to hold up.
Yeah, a couple guys were going to go out with Fortney, I think, on Saturday. He just turned 21.
Fortney's not a guy I don't think you'd want your daughter to marry, right? He'd agree.
I'm not going into but I said something to Wells like, hey, going out with Fortney. He just, oh, no, not me.
3-2 to Wells. Fastball, chopper to short. Boss Chance takes it to Hop. Strong throw to first just by a second. And you got to love the hustle by Wells down the first
trying to beat it out
line.
every time he hits a ball, trying to make a play.
And this is exactly what you want if you're Steve Behringer. You want Alex Crosby coming up, 2 down, nobody on base.
Alex Crosby.
Yeah, especially, going through Fernandez and then Wells. Falcons coming up in the bottom of the 5th, top of the order, but 2 quickly retired.
So the Falcons have got 4 hits off of this one hit. Right
Look at the A-train.
And I just love how he does the cool move after, just flips it over the top of his head.
I got it.
Don't hurt your pitching hand now, Ryan. Don't hurt your pitching hand over there. Count 0-1 to Crosby, and Crosby's batting .347 this year.
Oh, what a pitch.
0-1 fastball, painted perfectly outside corner. Quickly hit on Crosby, 0-2, and 20 RBIs for Alex Crosby, a team high. 0-2 curve ball, Crosby. Good job just to somehow get a piece of that curve.
That curveball is just so nasty to left-handed hitters because it looks like it's coming inside and then just breaks down to the outside lower part of the plate.
And he's doing a good job even doing that against righties.
Yeah.
That's how good this kid's curve is. Comes the fastball outside corner, just fooled Crosby. So a 1-2-3 inning for Will White. Through 5, Falcons still nursing a 2-0 lead. Top of the order coming up here for the Mariners. Top of the 6, Bowery, Dufford, and Casey Levy. They're combined. 1 for 5. Math a little slow there. Took a sec to add up 2 2s and a 1. That's sad.
So I used my fingers, son.
Oh, yeah, I was watching. I can't remember what I was watching, but you're counting Ryan Anderson's strikeouts. 1, 2, 3.
Strikes are out.
8. Yeah, I'm using my fingers, folks.
Hey, whatever works.
It's almost as funny as the Ibarra bathroom trick. 1-0 to Bowery. Right at the knee, strike 1. And Anthony Pizzola's been dealing here this afternoon. Has gone through 5 innings, only given up 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and only 1 walk for Anthony Pizzola. And the biggest start of the season for Pizzola. 1-1 in the dirt, count 2-1. And Pizzola was coming off 2 shaky starts, too, coming into this game. And that's what I love. But coming into this one, you see the Falcons just focused, ready to go. Got their game faces on, and this is a team that could have tanked. 4-game losing streak, and then they get 2 against Yuba. This one hit well. JQ, a diving attempt right under his glove, so a leadoff single for Alex Bowery, and the leadoff hitter finally gets on here this afternoon.
Now batting the DH, Matt Dufford.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You talk about that losing streak and losing 4 games in a row, something that hasn't happened to Solano in conference play since 2005. But they handled that adversity like real champs, coming back strong against Yuba, and thus far up in this big game against Marin, 2-0 here in the top of the 6th, but a long way to go in this one.
So Bowery extends his 5-game hitting streak now to 6. He's had 4 multi-hit games in his last 6. First pitch over, strike 1 to Matt Dufford. Dufford starting at a DH spot here this afternoon, 1 for 2. His 1 hit was a sharp comeback right at Pizzola, who luckily barely got his glove on it.
Yeah, that was a line drive right at his dome.
Bowery at first. It's a nice lead, a little outside, and Boeri, a guy you got to keep a close eye on, 11 for 14 this year in stolen base attempts.
Yeah, one of the better base stealers in the Bay Valley Conference.
One of the better players in the BVC on top of that, too. So he's now 3 for 11 against Solano this year. 1-1. Hit out of play over the Mariners' dugout, so Pizzola quickly ahead on the number 2 hitter, Matt Dufford, 1-2. Dufford, the sophomore at Santa Rosa High, 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah, all these kids kind of tall and lengthy, 6'2", 6'3", 6'1".
Dufford, 11 for 40 this year and 40 at-bats. 2 of his 11 hits have been doubles.
Boy, he'd like one right here.
Pizzola would like another K. 1-2, curved ball. Good job by Dufford just to get a piece, stay alive.
Yeah, good job hanging in there on that breaking ball.
And that's been the difference for Pizzola here this afternoon. His breaking ball has been very effective. Both pitchers, for example. I mean, Will White's curveball has been straight nasty. Reminds me of Tyler Cravey, the former lefty at Napa, now pitching in the Milwaukee Brewers organization.
Remember that kid, every time Napa would play, he was pitching 4 or 5 scouts here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium.
1-2. Foul territory. Crosby giving it a chase. Wells coming in, and that one's going to drop foul. Just too far out of reach between Crosby and Wells.
Crosby looked like his days as a wide receiver at Will C. Wood. Too far, or the ball was thrown too far for him to catch up to. Trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch.
So he was used to that at Will C. Wood. They never really had any good quarterbacks.
Well, I think when he played, the quarterback was the kid who played quarterback at Solano the last.
Don't even say Matt Altieri.
No,
okay.
After Matt Altieri, the kid out of Wood. He would kind of play when Ron Beverly, the last season for Solano.
Gomez?
Yeah, Justin Gomez.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Crosby.
So he was kind of used to trying to track those balls down.
Count 1-2, nobody out. Boeri on first after leadoff single. Pizzola comes, 1-2. Hit right between first and second. Behringer's going to hold Boeri at second, so back-to-back singles for Marin, and they're finally hitting the ball well off of Anthony Pizzola.
Left fielder, Casey Levy.
So Marin getting a little rally going here, top of the 6th. They're only down by 2, and
now you got to deal with the 3-4 hitters, Casey Levy and Patrick Hodges. 37 RBIs combined.
So last inning, Solano came up with their number 1, 2, and 3 hitters. Will White was able to sit them down 1, 2, 3, but Marin with their top of the order, 2 base hits to get things started here, top of the 6th.
And when you look at Levy and Hodges, both have very good slugging percentages this year. First pitch over for strike 1. Levy has 5 doubles and 2 triples this season, and Patrick Hodges on deck has 11 extra base hits, 1 home run, and 10 doubles.
Yeah, these are the 2 guys that Behringer wants coming up with his team down by 2 runs here.
Falcons playing double play depth. Fernandez, Kaiden holding Boeri on at second. Pizzola steps off, looks Boeri back to second without a throw. And a big-time situation, and really the first time Pizzola has been in a jam since the top of the 1st. Coming into this inning, he only gave up 2 hits through 5, and back-to-back singles now for Marin here in the top of the 6th. Nasty curve ball breaks right in, and that ball had eyes.
Yeah, that looked like it was way outside and just broke back over the outside part of the plate. Big pitch for Pizzola. And just like that, Levy down on the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
And if you do call a pitch in the dirt here, important for Brasher not to let it get by him with Boeri at second and Dufford at first. Comes with a fastball way outside. Throwaway pitch, count 1-2. Casey Levy, the left-handed hitter, going against the right-handed throwing Pizzola.
I'd throw him that curveball again right here.
Levy 0 for 1, walked in the first and grounded out to Crosby. 1-2 in the dirt. Brasher, excellent job to keep it in front. And Aaron Brasher, I mean, you can make the case that he's the best defensive catcher in the Bay Valley Conference, and you can even make the discussion that he's one of the best in all of Northern California.
Yeah, defensively hard to find a better catcher.
He's thrown out 40% of runners trying to steal on him, and he's thrown out 15 runners, I believe, third most in the Bay Valley Conference.
Yeah, and he's just a guy that Stover trusts implicitly. Doesn't matter what he's hitting, he's going to be the starting catcher.
I got to get a thesaurus now to hang out with you. Pizzola taking his time. Levy didn't want to wait any longer. Calls time at the dish.
Well, you got your best base runners on base if you're Marin. And you've got your 2 big hitters coming up.
Big time situation right here. Top of the 6th. Falcons up 2-0. Nasty slider. Breaks back and gets Levy looking. Big time pitch for Anthony Pizzola. And there's nothing you can do as a hitter in that situation. That ball starts a good 4 inches off the plate. All of a sudden it comes back right at the knees, outside corner. Ring him up.
Yeah, 2 nasty pitches for strike 2 and strike 3 by the Pez dispenser. And that's a big out. Get a ground ball now out of the inning.
5 strikeouts now for Pizzola. Now you got to deal with Patrick Hodges, 0 for 1. Had a line out to Fernandez in the 4th. Actually 0 for 2 and struck out in the 1st.
Doesn't get easier for Pizzola here.
Hodges hits this one, and it's going to go by JQ. Zach Wells gets it, and they're bringing Boeri home, and he's going to come in, and he scores. And Zach Wells not with the best of throw coming in from right field, and Crosby tried to come home, but not in time. So a big out, 1-out RBI single for Patrick Hodges.
So Hodges comes through, and Marin able to get a run on the board. First time they've been on the board, now only down by a run. Still some work to do for Pizzola, and still just 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
So Patrick Hodges has been Marin's best hitter all season long, and especially as of late. Now has at least 1 hit in 14 of the last 15 games, and now has 14 RBIs in the last 15. 23 runs batted in on the year for Hodges, the sophomore. Falcons still up 2-1 here, top of the 6th.
Boy, excellent base running too by Boeri. He got an excellent jump because that ball was hit pretty hard, and I thought when it was initially hit, Wells charging might be a play at the plate.
Pizzola gets a first pitch over to Ben Shea, strike 1. Shea 0 for 2. Strikeout and a 4-6 ground out.
Shea hitting .250. 6 runs batted in to go with 10 strikeouts.
Ben Shea, the freshman, swings through the 0-1, so Pizzola quickly ahead now, 0-2.
So Pizzola right here will take a strikeout, a pop-up, or a ground ball to one of the infielders.
And he knew today's game was going to be a tightly contested matchup. 2 one-run games in the first 2. 0-2 outside, count 1-2 on a throwaway pitch.
Yeah, almost looked like the way Brasher was setting up, almost like a pitch out.
I think he was just trying to get a little close to the outside corner and just got away from Pizzola, but you're up 0-2. Don't want to throw anything over the plate. See if Pizzola goes back with that nasty off-speed. Comes with a fastball and just foul down the third base side.
That was close to getting over the bag down the left field line. That would have been trouble for the Falcons.
And if you're Pizzola here, I mean, you got to go with the same pitch you got Casey Levy out on. I mean, that pitch is pretty close to being unhittable.
Well, looks outside and just breaks over the outside corner at the last minute.
He comes with it. Shea not able to check his swing. Big time strikeout for Pizzola. Now 2 strikeouts in the inning.
Well, he's going to need 1 more out to get out of this inning and preserve the lead.
Now he's got to deal with Ryan Burke. Ryan Burke ended the 11 in a row retired with his leadoff single in the 5th. 1 for 2 for Burke. 7 RBIs this year for the freshman out of Novato High.
Wind picking up just a tad, blowing straight to right field.
Fastball, poked foul out of play over Marin's dugout. Righty on righty matchup with Pizzola and Burke. Pizzola now with 6 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Has given up 5 hits. 3 of those 5 hits have come here in the top of the 6th, all 3 singles. And all 5 hits Pizzola's given up have been singles. High fastball, ball 1.
Looks like some activity down in the Solano bullpen.
Max Van Dyke.
Guy we were just talking about last inning, getting loose. Van Dyke has been pretty effective this year. From last year to this year, really cut down on his walks.
1-1. Low. Brasher throws to first, and he is tagged down.
Oh!
And the infield umpire, Jeff Dugmore, calls him safe. And, I mean, really, if you look at it, the home plate umpire's got the better look at it than the second base ump, but he makes the call.
Yeah, he was kind of blocked from the view. From our vantage point, it looked like he was out pretty easily.
I mean, the ball beat him there easily. It was hard
Might
to
have got
see
under
if he
the
got
tag.
The tag, but.
Boy, that's where it's nice if we get that instant replay, huh?
And Hodges, I mean, he had a huge lead.
He did.
Crosby just looked at the umpire like, really? So now Pizzola's got to refocus. 1-2. 2 down. Runners on first and second. Comes with the fastball. This one hit over JQ's head. Wells fields it on 1 hop. We're going to have a play at the plate. Crosby cuts it off. And he is safe.
So that missed call comes back to haunt the Falcons. Thought they had the 3rd out. Don't get the play from the infield umpire Dunmore. And Marin, tip your cap to him. They capitalize and get another run on the board and tie this one up.
Excellent job of hitting for Ryan Berg on the 1-2 pitch. Just went with it, poked it opposite field. And, yeah, partner, that was a big play in this one. I mean, it looked like Crosby maybe got the tag, but at the end of the day, you got to move on. Excellent job by Berg to stay with it. So Stover goes out, has a little chat with Pizzola.
Now Hodges is going to be at second.
Just going over to have a little chat with Steve Behringer.
Now batting shortstop, Brian Boschan.
Still some work for Pizzola to do to get out of this jam and try to at least stay tied now.
And right there, if I'm Crosby, I'd maybe let that throw go. I mean, Wells had a lot on it, and it was straight coming right to Brasher. Still, I don't think it would have made a difference. I think Dufford coming in from second would have scored still.
We had a great jump.
So first pitch outside to Brian Bosch-Chancig. Count 1-0. Hodges at second. Ryan Burke now over at first. Hodges doesn't look like the fastest guy out there, but moves pretty quick. 1-0 to Bosch-Chancig. Curved ball, strike 1. And Bosch-Chancig, don't let his 257 average fool you. Has a 9-game hitting streak over his last 9. 2 for 10 against Solano this year, batting an even 200.
And he's hit 2 balls pretty well. 1 to Wells, 1 to Tolbert in center.
So 2 big runs from Marin here in the top of the 6th. Comes with the curve again high. So this inning started off with back-to-back singles. Then Pizzola got a big strikeout. Hodges came up with an RBI single. Another strikeout for Pizzola. And now Ryan Burke over at first got a big-time 2-out RBI single to tie this one up 2-2. Top of the 6th. This one fouled out of play, so the count now even at 2-2. Deuces wild. 2-2 the count. 2 down. 2 runners on. Number 2 up at the plate.
And Pizzola's made some good pitches. Just Marin, they've done a good job at the plate.
So Pizzola trying to get out of this inning. Only 2 runs allowed. Comes with the curveball, strike 3. So Pizzola strikes out the side, but Marin puts 4 hits on the board. 2 runs scored. We are all tied up 2-2 going to the bottom of the 6th. Well, Marin tied it up in the top half of the 6th. Solano's been pretty good this year, though. When teams score in the top half of innings, the Falcons have done a pretty good job this year answering back. So, going to be a big inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Justin Clayton, Tucker Bishop, and Danny Mills, the 3 batters up here for Stover in the 6th. JQ takes the first pitch outside, ball 1, and Will White has done a pretty good job here. Had 3 walks in the first, has only had 1 walk since then. He's allowed 4 hits so far this afternoon. 1-0. A little outside, maybe a little high. Count 2-0 to Justin Clayton. 0 for 1. Has a walk and a strikeout.
Falcons wishing they could have got a little more out of that first inning.
2-0. And if you're going to get hit in the big part of the leg right there, JQ takes his base.
Yeah, I think caught him kind of in the back of the leg, just above the knee. You're absolutely right. Shakes that one off. He'll gladly take his base, try to get a rally started.
JQ getting his Aaron Brasher on.
Third baseman, number 1, Tucker Bishop.
Tucker Bishop started off the game for Solano with a big-time 2-out RBI single. Got caught stealing to end the frame. First time he's been gunned down this year. Now 5 for 6 in stolen base opportunities. Here comes some Stover ball for you. I think we all know what Tucker Bishop will be doing right here. Showing bunt. Bunts this one just foul. Right, about 5 feet right side of home plate.
He just wants to make sure he doesn't take one
in the chest.
Yeah, take one in the chest again.
And he took a sharp ground ball on Saturday's game too, right off the chest. Bishop showing bunt. And they got JQ picked off, tagged out. So another base running there for the Falcons as JQ gets picked off. An outstanding move by Will White.
He had JQ going the other way. He was leaning towards the bag, moved just dead to rights. Guns him down.
So that's a big out in this inning. You get the leadoff guy on, got hit by a pitch, and you get picked off. 0-1, curveball outside corner, strike 2.
Tucker's going, okay, at least I get to swing away now.
Here, Tut.
0-2, way outside, count 1 and 2. Bishop's been aboard safely both at bats. Had a single in the first, a walk in the fourth.
Seen a little activity now in the Marin bullpen.
1-2. This one hit shallow right, actually carried right at the right fielder. Ben Shea gets the out. 2 down now in the inning.
That thing got up in the wind that's blowing out to right field and just carried it all the way out to Ben Shea. I like you. I thought that might have a chance to actually draw.
Yeah, that thing just kept carrying it. An easy put out for Ben Shea out and right. So now Danny Mills comes up with 2 down, nobody on base. 1 for 2 this afternoon. Had a single in his last at bat in the fourth. Struck out to lead off the second. Fastball outside, 1-0 to Mills.
White, though, looks like he's getting stronger.
Yeah. I mean, the only run scored after the first was through that wild pitch. Mills, nice cut. Fouled down the right side, out of play.
Mills just a little late getting around on that fastball. Last time up had that sharp single out to right field. Just going with the pitch.
1-1, fouled straight back. Aaron Brasher on deck. Should Danny Mills get on with 2 down? So JQ got hit by a pitch to start off the bottom of the 6th. Got a little too aggressive over at first. Got picked off. Outstanding move by Will White. A 1-2. Low. Count now 2-2 to Mills. Danny Mills went 1 for 3 in Saturday's game. Got the start at second in place of Justin Clayton. Had an RBI single in the 8th inning. Mills batting .350 coming into today's game. 2-2, low, counts full. So Mills fell behind the count. 1-2 is now battled back. Counts now full.
So Mills just battling. Nothing else get that pitch count up.
And it's hard to see the numbers, but they got a righty sidearm warming up. 3-2 fastball hit right past the third baseman Hodges. So 2-out single for Mills to extend the inning.
Boy, Mills has really looked good against Will White. Comfortable at the plate, fought off some tough pitches. Finally, Will White left one up.
Catcher, number 21.
That was a fastball bell tie, and Mills just gave it a ride to left field, ripped it. Clean line drive single with 2 outs here, bottom of the 6th, game all tied up.
And Stover electing to go with Mills in the DH spot here today, the right-hander going against Will White, giving Speeney the day off. So Brasher now up with 2 down. Mills at first. Curveball, strike 1. Brasher ripped a single in his last at-bat, 1 for 2 this afternoon.
Boy, that was a good pitch by White. Just broke in to Brasher, the right-handed hitter, over the plate.
Curveball in the dirt, gets away. Mills is going to scamper to second. So just like that with 2 down, now you got a runner in scoring position.
That's huge for the Falcons, as you said, Zach, especially with 2 outs here and runs at a premium.
And Aaron Brasher had a big-time 2-out hit in Friday's game, I believe, against Yuba. And Brasher has reached base safely in 16 straight after his 4th-inning single.
Yeah, Brasher's had some big hits for the Falcons this year.
Brasher's a guy that no matter who's pitching, you're going to have your hands full. You're going to have a battle coming up with Brasher. He does a good job fouling pitches off, does a good job crowding the plate. He's been plunked by 11 pitches this year. On base percentage, just under 400 at .382. Fastball low, so the count 2-1. And Brasher does an outstanding job with those low pitches. He kind of ducks right as the pitch crosses home plate. The guy's just a savvy
ball player. You're absolutely right. That's a good description.
Well, if you're going to bring out your thesaurus, I got to throw out a couple words, right? Edgar Barr on deck, so Brasher get on. Mills a huge lead at second. Brasher hits this one right at the first baseman. Burke takes on 1 hop, steps on the bag, and Mills stranded at second. Through 6, we're all tied up 2-2 here at Bill and Louise Yarborough Stadium. Pizzola gets to deal with the 8 and 9 hitters here to start off the top of the 7th, then back to the top of the order with Alex Boeri, Tommy Beretsov, and Francis Griffin combined 0 for 4 against Pizzola. So Pizzola hoping to keep those 0-fers going. First pitch over, strike 1, outside corner. And Pizzola was just cruising through 5, and then the 6th inning, Marin got 4 hits off him and scored 2 runs to tie it up 2-2. 0-1, fastball, strike 2. Perfect location right at the corner at the knees. And this is the first time Pizzola's gone more than 5 innings since his 8-inning effort against Napa, where he allowed 0 earned runs.
And even in that last inning, Pizzola pitched well. He had those 3 strikeouts. Just Marin hit some good pitches.
Yeah, Pizzola with 7 strikeouts so far. Strike 3 looking on the 1-2. So 8 strikeouts now for Pizzola, and I believe he's tied a season high. He had 8 Ks against Laney on March 2nd.
Suddenly that outside corner got a little bit wider there.
Francis Griffin.
I mean, the one thing I've noticed, it seems like Pizzola's strike zone a little bigger than Will White's. Well, that's what you call home field advantage, right?
And he just works both sides of the plate.
Trying for the bunt single. Pizzola fields it. Strong throw to first in time.
Nice play. My goodness. Look at the footwork by Crosby there. Pizzola throws him a BB. He catches it and then gets his leg out of the way before the base runner runs over him.
He's just happy a guy can actually throw the ball close to him now.
Yeah.
He didn't get any of that with Justin Gomez out would, but also, too, an excellent job by Pizzola. He got off the mound so quick, able to field that one and plenty of time to throw out the speedy Griffin.
And it almost looked on the exchange, he bobbled it just a tad, but able to still keep his grip and make the throw with something on it.
So Pizzola has retired the first 2 in the top of the 7th in order. Outside corner, strike 1 to Alex Boeri. Boeri extended his hitting streak to 6 with his leadoff single in the top half of the 6th inning.
And he really got that whole rally started with that leadoff single.
0-1, outside corner, strike 2. So Pizzola cruising here in the 7th.
Yeah, kind of like Will White. I mean, those guys just shake off innings where they give up a run or 2 and just come back even better.
And Boeri looking to keep this inning going. 0-2, just outside, counts 1 and 2. And Boeri had a stellar freshman campaign last year, too. Started in 32 games, .360 average.
Yeah, I remember this kid last year playing second base for Marin as well.
1-2, weekly hit, Crosby takes it on 3, hop, steps on the bag. 1, 2, 3, in the top half of the 7th. Time to stretch and put on your rally caps here. 2-2, going to the bottom of the 7th. Often where you get a cat from Arkansas.
Well, they've got a couple guys from Alaska, and actually I think it might be Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
I know Anchorage. He's in Alaska for the 8K. So
I guess I need to. I didn't do too well in a geography.
You got the thesaurus down. Now you got to work on the geography class.
Is it ARK? I guess it.
Just like Noah,
right?
Got in the ark and saw. That's the wrong state, though. All right, we can tell you we're in California here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium. Great game here, 2-2 tie going into the bottom of the 7th.
And Bobby, the sidearm pitcher out of Alaska.
Do notice opponents hitting .341 against Bovey.
1-0, outside corner, strike 1, Dewey Barra, and man, I'm surprised he hasn't melted out there. It's a little different than Alaska.
A little cooler though in Marin.
Barra chopper up the box. Right between the shortstop and second baseman. Ibarra, a hard turn pass first. Thought about going for second, but wisely stays put at first base. So Ibarra, he talked about it yesterday. Said, I just like to get the bat on the ball and set it up the middle. Did exactly that. Chopper above
Jordan
Bovey's head. Leadoff single for Ibarra.
And Griffin looked like he was having trouble coming up with the ball in center field. That's why I think Ibarra was thinking about maybe getting to second. Boy, you can see how bright the sun is on the throwback by Baritsov to Bovey. He had to really shield the sun just to catch the throwback from the catcher.
So Ibarra extends his hitting streak to 5 now. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Tolbert 0 for 2. Just needs to get the bunt down here. Get Ibarra into scoring position. Tolbert, perfect bunt. Pitcher fields it. Bovey, a low flip. Boeri fields it, the second baseman covering first. So Tolbert does his job. Ibarra now at second with 1 down, and back to the top of the order with Fernandez and Zach Wells. And these are 2 guys I would trust to get a big-time hit in a crucial situation here in the bottom of the 7th. And I told Fernandez before the game, I said, listen, I told him to hit a home run. But I said, if you don't hit a home run, you got to cut that hair off. But there's no deal because he came back and said, if I do hit a bomb, then I got to rock that hair. There's no way I'm doing that. Not taking a chance. Nasty pitch, just tailed right from the inside part of the corner all the way to the outside for strike 1.
Are you sure that's hair? It looks more like maybe a dead animal. Just kind of parked right on his dome. Come on, the count. Another opportunity, though, for Fernandez here.
And Fernandez, him and Spini have been the 2 hottest hitters for Stover here in the last couple of weeks. Fernandez is 18 for his last 42, batting close to .450. Has 7 multi-hit games in his last 9. He tried to get the bunt single down and bunted through it, so Bovey quickly ahead in the count, 0-2.
That ball looked low. And not sure what Fernandez was doing. It almost looked like he was trying to get a drag bunt there.
He's got a lot of room down the right side.
Yeah.
First baseman Burke playing regular position, so if he would have got it down there, he would have had a chance to beat it out.
So good attempt, just doesn't come away with the execution.
0-2, chopper to short. Boss Chancik only played a first. Strong throw in time, so Ibarra now 90 feet away with 2 down, and the natural, the All-American, Zach Wells coming up in a big-time situation. Solano 2 games back of Marin. You're tied 2-2, bottom of the 7th.
Number 6,
Ibarra 90 feet away. Big-time spot right here for Zach Wells, who's been playing really good baseball as of late. Zach Wells is 6 for his last 14. First pitch, inside corner, right at the knee, strike 1.
Boy, and that's a tough angle for a right-handed batter against Bovey, who's coming with that sidearm action right at the right-handed hitter.
Oh, 1, a little high. Count now 1-1.
That was close to getting the sleeve of Wells there, wasn't it?
And that pitch had a lot of movement. It almost came back to the inside corner. Wells crowding the plate. Ibarra 90 feet away, 2 down, bottom 7th. Little inside again, so the count 2-1. Alex Crosby on deck.
And I like what Wells is doing, as you said, Zach. He's just crowding the plate, hoping maybe on that inside pitch might hit him, get him on base, get Crosby up. Wells like to knock it in, though.
Way outside, and good job by the catcher, Britsov, to stretch Armstrong it and just barely reach out enough to keep that one away from hitting the backstop.
And that's what Wells is doing by crowding the plate, trying to get him to kind of change his arm motion.
And you got first base open, 3-1 pitch. Wells takes it, and that one misses just outside. So even though first base was open, the one thing that Bovee had on Zach Wells was the righty-on-righty matchup. Now you got Crosby coming up, a left-handed hitter, going up against a sidearm throwing righty. A big advantage going up against Wells compared to going against the lefty Crosby.
And that was just a smart at-bat by Wells. He's just taken away the left side of the plate. And I think that kind of threw Bovee off. That last pitch, though, that was a tough one to take. Even Bovee kind of looking at the umpire like, are you sure?
Even Wells stood in the box for quite some time, too, there. And it was a very close pitch. And been kind of an inconsistent strike zone here throughout.
It's getting a little bit wider, isn't it? Really tight in the first 5 innings, and it seems like Trujillo's giving both pitchers a little more of the outside part of the plate.
Alex Crosby 0 for 2 this afternoon. Scored the first run of the game after his leadoff walk in the first inning.
Well, he's going to tell you he's due.
Crosby has had at least 1 hit in 22 of the 25 games he's played in this year. Of course, had to sit out 1 after the bogus suspension call. Crosby has 6 RBIs over the last 3 games. And he's really one of the sophomore leaders on this team. The other sophomore leader is standing at first base, and the other one's sitting on the chair right over there. Ryan Anderson.
The A-Train, baby.
Aaron Brasher, also another big-time leader for this Falcon squad. JQ.
And Coach Stover just has to be so pleased with the way the sophomores stepped up, took control, able to keep everything under control and get out of that 4-game slide.
Well, big-time situation right here, partner. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Ibarra at third, Wells over at first. Alex Crosby in the box. Kyle Bovee trying to get out of the inning unscathed.
The hit man trying to do it one more time.
Crosby takes the first pitch low. Good job by Britsov, the catcher, to keep it in front. Falcons have already scored 1 run this game on a wild pitch.
Crosby leads the team with runs batted in right at 20. He'd like to get it to 21 right here, give his team the lead.
Hits this one, high chopper, just foul. Just out of the reach of Ryan Burke down the right side, right between him and first base coach Bobby Campo.
Kind of looked like a little wedge shot there. Ball was low. Crosby went down, tried to get it, drive it into right field. Just barely fouls it out of play.
And the left-handed hitting Crosby's got a big hole between first and second. Ryan Burke, the first baseman, holding Zach Wells close. So if he can just pull a pitch right between first and second. The first to third move, and they've got Zach Wells picked off. Runner comes home. Wells is tagged out before Ibarra can touch home base, so another base running error for the Falcons. 2 have been caught stealing, 2 have been picked off.
And I'm not sure if that might have been...
It wasn't on. Wells was trying to get back to first, so through
slipped.
7 innings, 2-2, going to the top of the 8th. Anthony Pizzola's afternoon is done.
20,
Mike Duman coming out of the pen, and Mike Duman's been one of the best bullpen pitchers in the BVC this year. 1-0 record, 1.26 ERA, making his 13th appearance. 14 and an inning worth of work. 15 strikeouts, 7 walks. But what about the performance of Anthony Pizzola here this afternoon, and arguably the biggest game for the Falcons this year? Goes 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Only allowed 6 hits. All hits were singles. Big-time effort for Anthony Pizzola, keeping the Falcons in this one. And Duman over for strike 1. And Mike Duman has been phenomenal for Stover out of the pen this year. ERA just over 1. And he would have the best ERA in the BVC if he qualified, but hasn't had enough work this year. Nasty off-speed over for strike 2. So Duman quickly ahead on the number 2 hitter, Matt Dufford, who's had himself a pretty good game, 2 for 3 this afternoon.
And where Duman has really improved over the season is in the location of his pitches.
Fastball outside corner, swing and a miss. 1 up, 1 down for Duman.
We are really getting a chance to see some excellent pitching in this game.
Pizzola,
Will White,
Casey Levy,
and now Duman. Boy.
I mean, Los Medanos, Mendocino, Yuba, Laney, all good teams. But I believe Marin and Solano are the top 2 teams in the BVC. I mean, you talk about hitting, you talk about pitching, you talk about fielding, especially Solano as of late. The fielding's improved drastically. I think those are the 2 best teams in the BVC. When you talk about complete teams, I think Solano and Marin. And I would have to give the edge to Marin, just barely, just because the pitching's
well, 2.41 team ERA.
1-0 low, count 2-0 to the number 3 hitter, Casey Levy. And you got to be careful with Levy and Hodges. You don't want to fall behind in the count. Both guys have a little bit of pop in their bat. 3 home runs combined.
Falcons, on the other hand, 3.51 overall team ERA.
2-0 low, so the count 3-0. And the last thing you want to do here in the top of the 8th, you don't want to give any free passes, no walks. And that's what Pizzola did so well, only 1 walk through 7 innings. 3-0, fastball outside corner, strike 1.
Good pitch by Duman, just painting the outside corner there. Gets the call from the home plate umpire.
So righty Duman delivering to the lefty Levy. Hits this one well. Down the right side and foul, so the count's full, so Duman battling back strong.
Good pitch by Duman that time. The fastball kind of tailed in, and Hodges, good cut, Levy, good cut.
And the Falcons just need to find a way to either win this game somehow, but it's going to be tough on Thursday. I know you have Ryan Anderson going, but Herrick, 1.55 ERA, the 3-2 outside misses, so 1 out walk to Casey Levy.
That pitch not even close.
Now you got to deal with Patrick Hodges, the Mariners' best hitter, 333 average, 1 homer, 22 RBIs this year.
Patrick Hodges
had an RBI single in his last at-bat in the 6th. First run of the game scored for the Mariners when Alex Boeri touched home plate on the 1-out single for Hodges. Double play depth for the Falcons. Crosby holding Levy on at first. First pitch swing and past Tucker Bishop, and this one's fair, going all the way to the corner in left. And Levy is going to come around, and he is going to score easily. Ibarra gets it in. Patrick Hodges with a big-time 1-out RBI double.
Boy, Hodges has been money for Marin. That's the last 2 times up, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in, and now Marin takes the lead 3-2.
So Brasher goes out, have a little chat with Duman. And that was just a perfectly placed hit right over the third base bag, out of the reach of Tucker Bishop. And
yeah, no chance for Bishop really to make a play on that one. Hit too hard. He just smoked that down the foul line. Just fair.
So Marin takes their first lead of the game. 3-2 here, top of the 8th. 1 down, and the Mariners looking to tack on some more.
That ball's inside the bag, 3 feet, probably a double play. Solano out of the inning.
Ben Shea. This one gets away from Brasher. Hodges now moves 90 feet closer, now 90 feet away at third base with 1 out. So Mike Duman, a little erratic here in the top of the 8th in a big-time game.
Yeah, I don't know that Stover's going to go much longer with Duman. He just waved down to the bullpen.
And Max Van Dyke's been getting warmed up a ton, so he's ready to go. We got a pinch runner coming in, so that's
probably going to be Nate Gartrell.
That's the one benefit for Solano here in the 8th. If Falcons do somehow tie it up, and this game goes into extra innings, you don't got to deal with Patrick Hodges the rest of the game.
So we're now in the top of the 8th. Marin up by a run.
Number 1, Nate Gartrell.
And they may not be done. Nate Gartrell, too, blazing speed. This kid played center field the last time Marin came to Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium, and boy, he made some catches out in center field, tracked some balls down.
So Ben Shea ahead on the count 1-0 with Mike Duman pitching. Nate Gartrell, excellent speed as you mentioned, partner. 1-0 fastball, low and outside. Ball 2. Ben Shea 0 for 3 this afternoon. 2 strikeouts and a 4-6 ground out. Falcons defense, infield playing in. Definitely don't want another run to come home here in the top of the 8th. Swing and a miss. Count 2-1.
Well, Duman.
Strikeout situation right here.
He got Manzer to swing at a ball outside of the strike zone there.
Manzer, the kid out of Alaska. 10 for 54 this year. Chopper passed actually over the head of Crosby, so just smacks that one for an RBI single. So Mariners have come up with 2 big runs here in the top of the 8th.
Boy, and nothing Crosby can do about that. That was a ground ball that just took a weird bounce and bounced over the head of Crosby. And so Duman got a ball on the ground. Still would have been a tough chance at the plate because Gartrell runs so fast.
So Duman's afternoon's done. Only gets 1 out. Issued a walk. RBI double from Hodges. And an RBI single for Adam Manzer, who came into that at-bat, only batting 185 on the season.
Well, typically good things don't happen when you walk a guy.
And if I had to guess a song Max Van Dyke would come out to, Mary Jane would be a good guess. I'm in love with Mary Jane. Max Van Dyke making his 9th appearance on the year. No record to show for. A 6.75 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks.
And he's going to throw strikes. His only problem this year, he's come in and he's given up some hits. But last year's problem, he come in, give up a couple walks. Had a few good outings last year. He's been much more efficient this year when he's come in.
The righty at a winner's high, sophomore. During his senior season at Winners, 4-2 record, 2.77 ERA, had 33 strikeouts and 4 walks, was starting way back then in 2010 through 5 complete games during his senior season.
Well, you gotta like what Marin's doing. They're just battling and finally able in the 8th inning to get a 2-run lead on the Falcons.
And Mike Duman just did not have his stuff coming into this inning. Anthony Bizzola pitched very well, went 7 innings. Duman only could get 1 out, faced 4 batters. And looking at Solano's remaining schedule, they go to Marin on Thursday, at Napa on Saturday, then Napa back here at Bill and Luis Yarborough Stadium a week from today, and then Contra Costa next Thursday, at Contra Costa, at Laney, and then here at home against Laney to end the season. Marin, on the other hand, they got a very tough schedule upcoming. Solano at home on Thursday, then 2-game series with Los Medanos, 2-game series with Yuba, and a 2-game series with Mendocino. So Marin is facing
Van Dyke.
4 top 20 teams in Northern California to end the season.
That's why if the Falcons can just get a split, stay 2 games behind Marin, take care of business against Napa, Contra Costa.
Double play depth for the Falcons. Van Dyke, the righty, going up against Burke. Runner takes off. Brasher, strong throw. Tag applied, and he is rolled safely. Foot just beat the tag from David Fernandez.
Solano would be doing better today if I was umpiring, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, tag just a little, or the throw just a tad high. Runner able to get in just under it. From my vantage point, I thought he came down and tagged him before he hit the bag.
Manzer now 6 for 6 and stolen bases this season. Now runner in scoring position with 1 out. Ryan Burke on fire today, 2 for 3. Curveball hit a mile high, shallow center. Actually, I need glasses. Right in the infield. Fernandez takes it right at the bag at second. Got under that a ton and hit it a mile high right by the second base bag, and Fernandez gets under it. And we saw these guys going through that yesterday when we taped the show. Tommy Pavesi, the hitting coach, was hitting pop-ups a mile high. He's got to hate doing that. He'd rather just be raking trying to hit him over the fence. Even the pitcher, Dustin Crenshaw, was able to do it a few times. One came pretty close to you when you were doing your field report.
Had no idea.
Van Dyke comes in the dirt. Brasher, good job to keep it in front. The shortstop, Brian Boschanczyk, the freshman, looking for his first hit this afternoon, 0 for 3.
And that was a big out by Van Dyke, getting a pop-up on Ryan Burke.
That was a hanging curveball, too, right down the middle. Comes with the fastball high, count 2-0 to Boschanczyk.
Well, a few of his warm-up pitches actually got by Brasher all the way to the backstop when he was warming up.
And also it was the same thing, too, when I was checking him out over there, warming up in the Falcons bullpen. A few got by Olsen.
Big moment right here.
2-0 curve. Just misses. The home plate ump didn't say if it was high or outside, but I'm going to guess it was a little outside. So the count 3-0 to Brian Boschanczyk.
You could really see the break on that pitch as well. Looked like one of those Barry Zito curveballs.
3-0 fastball outside corner, strike 1. Only 2 walks for Van Dyke and 8 appearances.
Just a warm, pleasant day here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium after a week of on and off rain.
3-1 curve in the dirt. Boschanczyk takes it. First time he's been aboard safely. So now runners on first and second with.
So that walk doesn't hurt you in the sense that it gives you more opportunities to get an out. And now getting to the bottom of the lineup for Marin, Tommy Baritsoff, the catcher, coming in, hitting just 208.
The catcher.
And then you got
3 this afternoon.
And Francis Griffin, the number 9 hitter in the on-deck circle. He's hitting 241, but 0 for 3 in the game.
And Griffin wasn't even supposed to start here this afternoon. Roger Ferenzi, late scratch. Griffin got the start on deck. Baritsoff, the catcher, swings at the first pitch, hits it towards the Falcons' bullpen. 1 strike. So Duman came in to start the inning, faced 4 batters, got 1 strikeout to start the inning off, and gave up a walk, RBI double, and an RBI single. Van Dyke has come in, got Burke to pop up, and just issued a walk to Boschanczyk. Not the worst of things with first base open. Curveball outside, 1-1 now to Tommy Baritsoff, the number 8 hitter. 2 strikeouts for Baritsoff and a ground out to third, 0 for 3.
So Van Dyke just working on his control, trying to get that curveball over.
This one hit well to right. Zach Wells gets to it. The speedy Adam Anzer scores. 5-2 now Marin. Big time 2-out single for Tommy Baritsoff. And we might have a double switch coming up for Stover. So 3 big runs scored here in the inning for the Mariners.
Well, Van Dyke was just having trouble getting his curveball over, so had to come in with the fastball, and Baritsoff just set on it. Just hits a laser into right center field, gets another run home. Now runners on the corners. Marin not done here.
And not even a double switch, but
Nick Roundtree.
Jordan Tolbert taken out of the game, and Nick Roundtree now coming in at center. Not sure what Tolbert did there, but he's done, and he is upset. Just kind of flipped his glove off when Stover was saying something to him. So Tolbert stays done. Nick Roundtree now in at center. Roundtree, one of the pitchers here for Solano, can kind of play all over the field. Van Dyke tried the fake to third and to first. And how big of a pickoff was that in the bottom of the 7th? Falcons had runners on the corners with Alex Crosby at the dish. Zach Wells finally made a mistake in his 1+ year.
And Marin capitalized, come right out top of the 8th and put 3 runs on the board.
And it's not getting any better for Solano because Marin arguably has the best closer in the entire state of California, Tyler Ehrig, the sophomore out of Monroe up in Washington. He has a 1.38 ERA, tops in the BVC among pitchers that qualify. He's made 20 appearances, has a state-high 13 saves. This one poked foul, and this one's going to get out of play. So the count now 1-2 to Francis Griffin, number 9 hitter.
Well, the Falcons did what they wanted to. They got that lead early, just could not hang on to it and could not capitalize on opportunities to get more runs when they had the chance. And we said this at the start of the game, runs are going to be at a premium today. You have got to capitalize on opportunities. Falcons, just too many base running mistakes.
Strike 3 right down the middle. Van Dyke gets a strikeout, but Marin, 3 big-time runs in the top of the 8th. Falcons really do need to put on the rally cap now, heading to the bottom of the 8th, down by 3, 5-2. Bottom of the 8th, Falcons send up their 3, 4, and 5 hitters here in the inning. Nick Speeney's got a bat on deck. Crosby leading off here, bottom of the 8th. Kyle Bovey, second inning of work. High, ball 1, and if you're Crosby, don't matter how. Could be an error, hit by a pitch, walk, single. You can over the fence you want. But you got to find a way to start this inning off right for Solano. Try and get back some of that momentum. Because Marin really took the momentum away after Zach Wells got picked off on first. Outside corner, strike 1. And Tyler Ehrig, the closer, sitting over there on the bench in the shade.
That's why this inning real important for the Falcons, at least if you can scratch a run or two.
Crosby hits this one fisted. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman. Throw, not in time. And the new third baseman couldn't make the play. Adam Manzer. And we talked about that in the top of the 8th. If the Falcons can find a way to get back in this one, Patrick Hodges is done for the day. The best hitter for the Mariners. And he was playing a stellar third base throughout the game, too. Made a couple of barehanded plays. And now you got Adam Manzer now over at third base.
And Crosby, just like you said, found a way to get a rally started. It wasn't much, but Alex Crosby on first, nobody out. Falcons down by 3, all-important Bay Valley Conference game.
And with one swing of the bat, it could be a 5-4 game with Speeney up. Hits this one to center, skies this one. Griffin gets under it about 5 feet in front of the warning track. Speeney gave it a ride, but just got under it a bit.
Yeah, just got it up in that wind and just not blowing enough to really carry that thing any further.
And he's mad. I mean, that's a pitch he knows that
third baseman, number 1.
He can hit a lot longer.
Tucker Bishop.
So JQ's done for the day after Speeney pinch hit for Quillayton. Tucker Bishop now comes up with 1 down. Crosby over at first. Bishop 1 for 2 this afternoon. 1 RBI and also has a run scored. Takes the first pitch a little low and inside. Ball 1. Danny Mills on deck. Same thing with Bishop right here. Just got to find a way to get aboard safely. Infield single. Got a big hole between first and second with Burke holding Crosby on at first. That one a little low for ball 2. And I mean, if I'm a pitcher here today, I have no clue where the strike zone's at. I mean, that was low, but I've seen those low strikes called pretty much the entire game.
Yes, first 3, 4 innings, not much on the corners, getting the low pitch.
2-0. This time it catches plate, strike 1.
Yeah, Bovey brought that one up probably just an inch. Just right at knee level that time.
And Bovey, the sophomore, out of Palmer, Arkansas. Just joking, Alaska. Crosby, minimal lead at first. Bishop hits this one well, but foul right by Bobby Campo, the first base coach for Solano.
Didn't even phase Bobby. Line drive right at his feet.
Well, I just think he's at that age now where it's just a little harder to move. I don't think it's the whole.
He's not quite like Tommy Lasorda.
Hey, he was one of the best running backs in community college history.
At Solano.
When Solano was in Vallejo.
Vallejo Junior College.
2-2. Crosby, high chopper, and this one's foul down the third base side.
Bobby also an excellent baseball player in his days at Vallejo Junior College.
And you want to talk about a guy that's done a ton for the community of Solano. Fairfield, Bobby Campo's the guy. So it counts 2-2, 1 down. Crosby infield single to lead it off. Speeney flew out to center. Bishop's got to find a way to get on base here. Calls time. Wind came up, got a little dirt in the eyes.
And Bishop really has been solid at the plate all year.
326 average. He's been over 300 all season long. 2-2. And that one hit Bishop in the arm, so he's awarded first base. And Kyle Bovey can't believe it. It barely got the jersey, and that's due in large part because Tucker Bishop's doing an outstanding job covering the plate.
Just like Zach Wells and what they do with the sidearm, who's coming from the right side towards the hitter, it just kind of takes away that outside edge, and so he's pushing the ball maybe a little more inside. That one just didn't come in, and it almost looked like a strike on the inside corner.
Big time situation. Danny Mills, 2 for 3 this afternoon. Hits this one. Double play ball, but this one gets away from the third baseman. Crosby's going to come around and score. Tucker Bishop's going to stop at third. Danny Mills, feet first slide at second. So that could have been an inning-ending double play. Gets away from the new third baseman, Adam Manzer. So Steve Behringer electing to go with the pinch runner, pull one of the best third basemen in Patrick Hodges, and just like that, Adam Manzer muffed one with Crosby, even though Crosby got the single. And then right there, a tailor-made double play ball. Just needs to fill that one, step on the bag, throw to first. Marin's in the dugout right now.
And then you got Tyler Ehrig coming in the 9th inning.
And now Luka just got out off the bench.
He's throwing now, baby.
So just like that, the Falcons now have the tying run on second base. Danny Mills now at second. Tucker Bishop at third. 5-3 score here, bottom of the 8th. And that one move by Behringer could come back to hurt Marin. I mean, Hodges was having a stellar day with the glove, stellar day with the bat. Now you got Aaron Brasher up. Tying run on at second base. I mean, we're a single away from being all tied up at 5. Marin put 3 on the board in the top of the 8th. Now Steve Behringer having a slow walk, getting a chance to get his closer warmed up.
And you got Aaron Brasher up once again. Big situation for the sophomore catcher.
And I believe Tyler Ehrig is going to check into the game. And the home plate umpire is already going out to ruin the party before Steve Behringer even had a chance to get there, and he had a slow walk coming out. But really, I mean, you got to give the coach a little bit of time to chat with your guys, right?
Well, the problem is Ehrig wasn't up throwing. He's just trying to buy time to get him ready. I don't think he wants Bovey to pitch to another guy.
Well, I just think Alexis Trujillo's got a date maybe. About 5:30.
Usually they'll let him have the conversation, but also it's clear what Behringer's doing. And I think that is the intent of the meeting. He knows he's just trying to buy time there, and all Trujillo's trying to do is say, hurry up, guys.
But you got to at least let him get out there.
If Behringer really wanted to bring him in, have him warming up beforehand.
Hey,
right?
It's part of the game.
It's called pre-planning.
No. If you're a manager, you get to go out and talk to your guys before the umpire. The umpire was there before him. But anyways.
But you know the only thing Behringer's doing is to give his guy a chance to get loose.
I get that, but it's part of the game. You can do that. It's baseball. There's no time limit. A game could take 2 days if it had to.
Well, there's got to be some kind of time limit. You'd never see umpires walking up to break up the meetings.
So Bovey goes 1 1/3, and Tyler Ehrig checking in, and he's gone more than 1 inning against Solano before. And Solano did a good job getting to him, but he was able to get out of some tough jams. And the game we're talking about, of course, was back on February 28th when Ehrig got the save. He went 1 2/3, no earned. Allowed 2 hits, no strikeouts, and no walks. Falcons had runners on first and third in the 9th inning.
Nobody
down
out.
by 1 run with nobody out. Brasher got the sack bunt to get the runner over to second and third. Ibarra grounded out to the pitcher. Fortney came up, grounded out to the pitcher. Marin walked out 4-3 victor in that one.
Well, Falcons to come away with the win, they're going to have to do it against the best closer in the Bay Valley Conference and maybe the best closer in all of Northern California. Tyler Ehrig coming in for the Mariners. He's number 25. And you know, the one thing about Ehrig you look at, opposing batters hitting 245, at least that shows there's some hope.
And he's 0-1 this year. As you mentioned, partner, 1.38 ERA, tops in the BBC among all pitchers that qualify. His 13th saves are tops in the state, obviously tops in the BBC. making his 21st appearance. Steve Behringer is using his top gun out of the pen a lot this year. 26 innings, 29 strikeouts, only 5 walks for the big lefty Tyler Ehrig, the sophomore, once again out of Monroe High up in Washington. Aaron Brasher, 1 down, coming up. Mills at second. Tucker Bishop over at third.
And Stover had Ibarra sit down. He's got Anthony Pickett now picking up a bat.
And that's just because Ibarra's a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tyler Ehrig is just straight filthy against left-handed hitters.
Aaron Brasher.
Huge situation right here. Even if Brasher can't get a hit here, you got to make sure you at least ground it to the second baseman, get a run in here, and at least cut it to a 1-run deficit. Big-time situation. Brasher takes the first pitch. Nasty curve ball, strike 1. And maybe if you're Solano here, you might want to sit on that curve compared to sitting on a fastball like usual.
And that's what happened when he pitched last time. He didn't give anybody a fastball. That's what Fortney said. I was waiting for a fastball. I got 3 curveballs.
Curveball again, same result. And that's a scouting report right there. I bet you Stover told these guys.
That's what Stover said as well.
And he's talking to Bishop right here. He's probably saying, come on. But those are nasty pitches. Outside corner, not much you can do with those curveballs. So Brasher's a very comfortable hitter with 2 strikes though, but Tyler Ehrig is a different animal. 0-2, curveball again. This one popped into the infield. Burke makes a putout, so a big timeout for the closer. Coming in here in the 8th inning. 2 down now, and Anthony Pickett. Talk about a perfect time to get your first hit on the season.
Well, not a bigger opportunity for this kid, and I think Pickett out of Vallejo High School, and in his senior season he hit .371, but he hasn't been used much in his 2 years here at Solano.
And Stover could know that Pickett might be a good curveball hitter.
Yeah, there's a reason that he's up at the plate right now.
Andy Barra, done for the day now, went 1 for 3. Pickett. Mills at second. Bishop at third. Mills the tied run. 5-3 here. Bottom of the 8th. 2 down. Pickett. Curveball in the dirt. This one gets away. Bishop coming in. Feet first slide. He is in safely. Big time run for the Falcons. And that was a close play, but Tucker Bishop got those little legs churning.
He did. Well, you just got to like the intensity that Tucker Bishop plays with. Made a nice slide, beats the throw, comes up with a fist pump. Kind of reminded me of Spike from last night.
Oh, gosh.
Spike Albright, first half.
Well,
don't know what happened in the second half.
At least Bishop didn't take the second half off this game.
Big run for
and just
the Falcons.
like that, too, for a curveball pitcher. Now you've got Mills 90 feet away, so if one more gets away, we could be tied up 5-5. Pickett, 1-0 pitch, fastball, chopper, the third baseman, and it gets under his glove. Talk about an air-filled inning for the third baseman, Adam Manzier, and just like that, we are all tied up 5-5, and Steve Behringer has to be thinking in his head, why did I pull Patrick Hodges? And we touched on that earlier. We said that was I don't know, but I'm not going to question a 13-year manager. The guy is one of the best in all of Northern California, and sometimes things just don't go your way all the time.
Well, he's got to be thinking, I mean, that was a pretty routine.
I think you might have been able to fill that.
I think I
don't know if
have.
you can make the throw.
I don't know if I could have made the throw, but I could have got the leather on it.
So now Nick Roundtree getting a chance to bat. You got the stats. Does he have any plate appearances this year? I know you got the stats over there. I'm not sure if Roundtree's had a plate appearance this year.
No, he has not been.
I know he's come out of the pen this season.
And just a couple innings of work.
So count 0-1 to Roundtree. Curveball hit opposite field. Nate Gartrell, shades on, makes a catch. But the Falcons come up with 3 big-time runs in the 8th inning, due in large part to 2 errors on the third baseman, Adam Manzier. 5-5 going into the 9th.
You know, and I think it...
So Stover going to Nick Driscoll here in the 9th inning. And Driscoll's had a very good season this year. 3-1 record, 2.95 ERA, making his 11th appearance this year. His 5th appearance coming out of the bullpen. 24 strikeouts and 8 walks for Driscoll, and he got the win in Saturday afternoon's game. The last game Solano played, came in and I believe pitched 1 2/3, got the W. First pitch swing and fouled straight over our heads to Alex Bowery, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 4 this afternoon. And what a crazy 8th inning.
Boy.
Mariners come up with 3 in the top half, and the Falcons come back with a little bit of help. Score 3 to tie it up, 5-5. 0-1, Driscoll outside, count 1-1. And this is a huge game. I mean, Solano 2 back of Marin. And if Solano can somehow find a way to win this one and somehow travel up to Marin on Thursday and take that one, they'd be tied at BVC in first place and own the tiebreaker against Mariners. 1-1, curveball. Hits the umpire in the leg, but just counts as a ball. 2-1.
I wasn't sure if it hit number 4 Bowery or if it hit the umpire.
It hit Bowery, then Brasher, then the whole play.
Yeah, got them all.
So the count 2-1. And if you're Bowery here, same thing as Crosby in the last part of the bottom of the 8th. Find a way to get on. 2-1 in the dirt, and
that got Brasher right on the instep.
And Driscoll right now is just trying to overthrow it a little bit. You just got to do your thing, throw strikes, let your defense do the work. And that's why Marin's pitching staff has been phenomenal this year. They're not the type of team that has a ton of strikeouts. I mean, they let their defense work, and it came back to bite them in the bottom of the 8th. But 3-1 fastball. A little outside, so 5-pitch walk, and Driscoll's just looking in like, really, Blue? Where'd that miss?
Yeah, that looked like it was right on the corner. And Brasher was kind of bobbling that. He was thinking he was going to have to tag the runner.
So Marty Greenkey, pinch hitting. Bunt situation right here with Bowery, the leadoff hitter, on first base after the walk.
Greinke out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Not related to Zach. Stover coming out to have a chat. I'm surprised the home plate umpire is not at the mound right now also. Stover's walking just as slow. Now he's got a timeout. He's bringing in everybody. And also, too, it gives me a sec. I mean, I was a little harsh maybe on Behringer there, taking out Hodges. I mean, that was a big-time run. You need that run from third. It was a 3-2 game at that point. So.
But you set right at the time that he was taken out. This move could come back to haunt College of Marin, and that's exactly what happened. Manzer comes in, boots not one, but two.
And he could have made a play on Crosby's, too. I mean, that wasn't an error, but that
was a tough chance. But
it's a play we've seen Hodges make in this one.
Absolutely.
So the meeting's over. And he's probably just telling us guys, don't be too aggressive right here on the bunt. If it's hit sharply and you got to play at second, go for it. But make sure you get the sure out right here. And Danny Mills now playing second. Got a new center fielder for Solano too, Gio Torres. So Roundtree came in and played a little bit of center for not even a full inning. Got one at bat, flew out to right. Now Torres in at center. And Danny Mills now in at second after Speeney pinch hit for JQ. So Speeney now in the DH spot. Throw to first. Almost got away from Crosby. And that would have been huge. But, too, also Behringer. I mean, he just trusts Manzer. You know, got your glove, go make a couple of plays. And just didn't go that way. Marty Greinke in the box, batting 100 this year. And that one almost got the jersey and not even showing bunt there. Greinke 1 for 10 this year in 10 plate appearances, 2 RBIs. Surprised the bunt wasn't on there.
And Driscoll struggling with his control just a bit. You certainly don't want to walk Bowery, one of the top base stealers.
1-0 low and inside, so the count 2-0. And especially when you're facing a guy that's 1 for 10 this year. You got to throw strikes. Only 8 walks for Driscoll this year and 10 appearances.
Yeah, you look at his walk-strikeout ratio, it looks really good. But he's just lost some guys in key moments in games, and it's hurt him.
2-0 hits him right on the elbow. Goodness. So now runners on first and second. And
well, this certainly isn't what Stover expected. You tie the game up. You're down 5-2. You bring in your third starter thinking you might get some decent pitches.
Driscoll's afternoon's done.
Yeah. Well, he comes in, he walks Bowery, he hits Greinke.
And especially Greinke, a guy that's coming in to bunt. A guy that's 1 for 10 this year, batting 100. And Driscoll and Dumit. it's almost like the moment's too big for him right now in a big-time game. You're 2 back up Marin.
Yeah, Bay Valley Conference on the line. You got to step up and really concentrate, be focused, be ready to go. And if they beat you and hit your best pitch, so be it. But you don't want to put guys on and give them a chance. And every time Solano's done that, Marin's come back to get them.
Kyle Stafford coming in. Talk about a big-time situation for the freshman out of Pleasant Grove High. 6'1", 205-pound righty, making his 5th appearance on the year, 1-1 record, 4.50 ERA, 4 Ks, 3 walks for the big righty out of Pleasant Grove.
And I'm going to guess that Allman probably won't be available today. I'm not sure. I think he went 3+ innings on Saturday.
A starter.
I know.
Because, I mean, obviously Solano's a home team here, so he's not going to get a save opportunity. Yeah. I mean, Altman would be coming in this situation, so he's probably not pitching today. And important, too. You don't want to fatigue his arm for the stretch run. I mean, Solano still has 7 games after today.
And you've got guys you can bring in and use. I mean, Stafford's a guy that, I mean, this is a situation for him. Game tied, all right? Want to come in and get some outs, but boy, this is a big situation for the freshman.
Casey Levy, big chance right here. And I know it's a tough call for Behringer. I mean, do you have your guy Levy bunt right here? You took Patrick Hodges out, who would be on deck. I mean, it's a tough situation. I let the kid hit. I mean, 15 RBIs, 2 homers for Levy this year.
Now pitching for Solano, number 37, Kyle
Big
Stafford.
time situation for Kyle Stafford. Gets to come in with runners on first and second. Tie game, top of the 9th. Nick Driscoll faced 2 batters, a walk and a hits batter. Didn't even give a chance for his defense to make a putout. So Casey Levy, 0 for 2. Spin aboard safely twice with 2 walks. Lefty on righty matchup. First pitch, little high, ball 1. And you got to throw strikes. It's that simple.
Boy, that pitch didn't miss by much, though. Looked like it was right at the letters.
Little high. It's at the letters, it's high, right? 1-0. This time, little low, I guess, so the count 2-0.
And Stover, he's just trying to find someone who can come in and throw strikes.
And that pitch didn't miss by much. And, I mean, low strikes been called all afternoon. But, I mean, it's been inconsistent all day long. 2-0, high, ball 3. It shouldn't be that hard to throw strikes.
Trying to see who's getting ready in the...
It's Stafford right now. I mean, maybe Crenshaw should go shave his beard off.
Boy, they could use him right now.
3-0. This time he gets a high strike. So if Stafford can battle back here, that'd be huge.
And that pitch looked about the same location as that first one that was called.
That's why I
called the ball.
Got the strike there. Casey Levy, runners on first and second, 15 RBIs. 3-1. Right down the middle, strike 2. So Stafford battling back after fell behind 3-0 to Levy. He's come back with 2 strikes, a little high.
Certainly looked like Levy taking all the way on both those pitches.
So now Levy's got to get a little more aggressive with 2 strikes. Counts full. Stafford shakes off Brasher. Gets the sign he likes. 3-2. Hit to Crosby. Only plays to first. Nice job by Crosby not to try and force a double play or anything. Just steps on the bag, gets a sure out.
And so Behringer has Levy swing away, but works just the same as a sacrifice bunt. Hits it to the right side, gets the runners over.
So now Nate Gartrell, who pinch ran for Hodges in the top of the 8th, steps up.
Now batting
10 for 54 this year.
Gartrell.
185 average, has 1 RBI. All 10 of his hits have been singles. And right here, usually you might want to walk the guy to get the force out at every bag, but when you're facing a guy that's 10 for 54 and a 185 average, you got to attack him, especially when you got a righty-on-righty matchup.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you're in the top of the 9th, still have an inning to go, kind of affects that decision as well.
With the way the Falcons' pitchers have been here in the 9th, a little out of control, so you don't want to walk a guy here and then get a walk to give Marin a lead. So Nate Gartrell Pinch ran in the 8th, came around to score. Righty on righty matchup. Runners on 3rd and 2nd, top of the 9th, 5-5. Fastball high, ball 1. Alex Bowery, excellent speed at 3rd. Martin Granke at 2nd, got hit by a pitch. Above average speed at 2nd, and he's got a huge lead. Falcons defense playing in on the infield. Fastball low, count 2-0.
Yeah, and certainly you don't have to pitch that carefully to a guy hitting 185.
Adam Manzer on deck. Had those 2 big errors.
Chance for redemption.
In the bottom of the 8th. Nate Gartrell out of San Francisco. 2-0 curve. Just misses. A little outside. Count 3-0.
Coach Stover hollering out to the umpire, asking if it was wide. That's why it was a ball. But boy, didn't miss by much, did it?
3-0 fastball high, so a 4-pitch walk. So not the worst of things there, a walk. Now you got the force out at every bag, but not a good sign though when you're not close on
right fielder.
3 of the 4 pitches.
Manzer.
So bases loaded, Adam Manzer. He's also batting a .185 this year, identical to Gartrell, 10 for 54. But Manzer came up with a big RBI single in the 8th inning.
2 walks, hit batter, bases loaded, 1 out.
I mean, they haven't even forced Marin to do anything this inning.
Just get up to the plate.
First pitch swinging, and this one's a single. Manzer makes up for his 2 errors. They hold the runner at 3rd, but Marin comes up with a big-time hit here in the top of the 9th, and they retake the lead 6-5. So Manzer makes up for his 2 errors in the bottom of the 8th. He's now 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs now.
Now batting.
Well, you're going to walk, guys. Going to cost you.
Yeah, I mean, and Driscoll only 8 walks coming into this game.
Yeah, Driscoll, sophomore, he's got to come out and do a better job throwing strikes.
So Ryan Burke takes first pitch high and outside. Ryan Burke, 2 for 4 this afternoon. Bases loaded.
Boy, and he's a big kid. He looks like if he gets a hold of one, he can give it a ride. Bust this game open.
210. Curve ball, inside corner, strike 1.
Burke thought that one was maybe going to plunk him on the back of his shoulder. Broke over the plate. Good pitch by Stafford. Boy, he needed one.
1-1 curve, strike 2. Nice pitch by Stafford. And the Falcons, when they do get out of this inning, Fernandez, Wells, and Crosby due up in the bottom half of the 9th. And if anybody gets on, Nick Speeney.
Well, you got the guys you want coming up in the next inning. You really want to minimize the damage here, though.
1-2. Comes with the curve again. Just a little high. And that was a very close pitch to take. See if Stafford comes back with the curve. It seems like he's had better control with the curveball than the fastball. 2-2 curve again. High chopper. Foul. And if anything gets out of the infield, the Mariners have excellent speed on the base pass. Granke at 3rd and Nate Gartrell at 2nd.
This kid can fly.
Yeah, anything that gets out of the infield, and you can expect 2 runs to score for the Mariners. And also at first, Adam Manzer has above average speed over at first base. So it counts 2-2, 1 down, bases loaded, top of the 9th. Mariners up 6-5. 2-2 fastball. This one hit well to center. Torres coming in and bouncing in front of him, and then it goes off the top of his glove. Play at plate. Throw is not in time. Ball gets away. So Torres with his first error of the season.
Everybody just pressing a little bit too much. They know how important this game is and trying to make plays, instead making errors, and situation getting worse for the Falcons here. Now down by 3, and they still have to face Mr. Eyrig in the bottom of the 9th inning.
So Ryan Burke now 3 for 5. He'll get 1 RBI on the play.
So the bullpen just letting down the Falcons here in top of the 9th. Driscoll came in, no luck, walked a guy, hit a guy. Stafford comes in, walks a guy, gives up a couple hits. And just like that, it's gone from 5-5 with a comeback by the Falcons to now being down by 3 runs again.
Now we talked about Nate Gartrell's speed. I mean, Torres' little mishap in center gave him enough time to come around and score from second. And watching Steve Behringer over at third base, who's coaching over there, he had the stop sign up, but then he saw it go off Torres' glove, waved him around, and just like that, 3 runs for Marin here in the top of the 9th.
Now that's another run you got to try to get back against one of the toughest relievers in all of Northern California. So, and the bullpen's been so good for the Falcons all year, but just not able to keep Marin. And it wasn't that Marin is really hitting the ball well, although give credit the last couple hits, they've been able to knock home guys, but it was putting guys on easily with the walks and the hit batter that really set the table for the rest of the guys for the Mariners here in the top of the 9th. And now Jake Novelli coming in.
And Jake Novelli making his 9th appearance on the year, no record this season, 5.68 ERA, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts and 5 walks, and Stover can't be too happy though. I mean, walks and hit batters is what cost Solano here in the top of the 9th. A walk to start off the inning, hit batter to start the second batter, then got a fielder's choice, and then another walk. They walk the bases loaded. You can't do that in big-time games when you're 2 back of the team in first place. I mean, it's fundamental baseball right there.
And especially when you bring one of your starters in like Driscoll, you know, it just kind of shows the difference between bringing a guy like Driscoll in or a guy like Ryan Anderson or Anthony Pizzola. Those guys just have that extra it. They're just so competitive. They're going to get after it. Driscoll at times almost looks like he's sleepwalking out there on the mound.
And it hurt not having Nick Altman, most likely not available today, who pitched 3 brilliant innings in Saturday's victory. Only gave up 1 hit, and on Falcons Baseball Weekly, had a little error for Nick Altman. He went 3 innings, only allowed 1 hit, had 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Accidentally put 3 walks. Altman's a cool dude. I doubt he'd care, though. So, actually, pitchers do care about, especially walk and strikeout stats. So, Jake Novelli coming out of the pen. Got to just find a way to get out of this inning.
Now pitching for Solano.
6 batters have come up here in the 9th, and only 2 hits.
And Novelli's another guy that just has struggled with his control when he's come in. Hasn't pitched a whole lot this year, just a little over 6 innings, but he has 5 walks in those 6 innings to go with 4 strikeouts.
And the first batter gets a face, Brian Bosch-Chancik, the freshman shortstop. Ben Shea at second. Ryan Burke over at first. First pitch over, strike 1. So a back and forth game. Solano was up 2-0 going to the top of the 6th. Mariners got 2 on board there. Both teams scored 3 of the 8. Mariners back with 3 in the top half of the 9th. This one flied into shallow center. Torres coming in, makes the catch, gets it in. So 2 down.
Took a long time to get that second out here in the top of the 9th. So Novelli comes in, gets another out, and now we'll try to get 1 more against a tall, lanky, catchy Tommy Baritzahoff.
Actually got a...
Now batting.
1 for 4. I thought he was going to be 0 for 4, but he had an RBI single in his last at bat. So 1 for 4 for the lanky catcher. 208 average this year, 10 ribbies. Man, they would love to go to Geico and buy some more insurance here in the 9th. Already with 3 runs scored. Fastball outside corner, strike 1.
Novelli not messing around. That was a fastball outside corner. Nice velocity by the kid out of Vanden.
This one hit to Crosby. Novelli catches it from Crosby. 3-1 put out. Mariners get 3 big runs on the board in the top of the 9th. Falcons have the top of the order coming up. Time to put your rally caps on. Down by 3, going to the bottom of the 9th. Top of the order for Solano, Fernandez, Wells, and Crosby. Going against Tyler E. Rigg, the top closer in all of California. 13 saves this year.
Number 2, David Fernandez.
Would not get the save if he's able to get through the 9th, but would get the W. Would be the first win of the season. David Fernandez, 0 for 3. Walked in the first. Takes the first pitch low, ball 1. And just like Crosby last inning, if you're Fernandez here, doesn't matter how you get on. Just got to find a way to get on base safely.
And Eyrig starts him off with the fastball. Look for him to come back with a curve right here.
1-0 fastball, a little low. Count 2-0. This home plate umpire, man, talk about inconsistency. How would you like to, if you're a female and you want to go out on a date, he would have his menu there for an hour. Wouldn't know what to get. The 2-0. Fernandez take it all the way.
He called that a strike? My goodness gracious. That was lower than the first 2, and I'm trying to be objective.
I mean, in his defense, I do think one of those 3 pitches were strikes, but that one was the lowest out of the 3.
That was. And then you throw the batter off because he's kind of getting an idea where the strike zone is.
Now, this is the first time that the closer's been going with fastball. Now you come with curve. 2-1 fastball. This one hit well, and it's going to drop for a leadoff single for Fernandez.
Good at bat by Fernandez. He was just waiting for Eyrig to leave a ball up in the zone. He was lucky he didn't get one of those curveballs, and Eyrig, he left one about belt high, and Fernandez belts it into left field.
And you could hear a little chatter in the Falcons dugout and just talking about he's loving going back door. And he's been just going curve back door on the outside corner. Strike 1.
That was a good pitch right on the outside corner.
And 2, if you're Zach Wells right here, you see a pitch outside corner. You got Ryan Burke, the first baseman, holding Fernandez up. So you got a big hole between first and second if he keeps going outside.
Go with the pitch.
1-0, nasty curve.
Yeah.
Strike 2.
Wells that time squared around a bunt, pulled it back.
Of course, he'd be bunt for a single if he was going to try here. Down by 3.
Absolutely.
0-2. Curveball. Wells swung through it. Goes down swinging. Nasty pitch.
That was, boy, not much you can do with that one, especially to the right-handed hitter. And if you're broke into the dirt.
If you're Crosby right here, you got to find a way to get Speeny up as the tying run. Speeny's on deck. Crosby, got to find a way to get on base here. You got Speeny, a guy that's got some pop. Curveball inside corner, strike 1. And just the command he has of his curveball is phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, he can throw it wherever he wants.
You see why this guy is so good.
Fernandez, decent lead at first. He's not going to try and steal right here in the situation. Comes with a fastball, chopper. And that is a fair ball. Throw to first, not in time. And that ball had eyes. And it was funny how the third baseman, Adam Manzier, came to field it. It was like he was trying to trick the home plate umpire there. Kind of went on the other side of the bag in foul ground. Excellent job by the home plate umpire, though, to keep an eye on the ball. And that one was fair. So runners now on first and second. Nick Speeny, 1 homer this year. Hit one well to center in his first plate appearance. Tying run now up for Speeny.
And Manzier's thinking, I finally fielded a ball cleanly. I got no chance to make the throw here.
Well, he was zigzagging around all over there.
All right, so Solano trying to battle back.
Speeny takes the first pitch fastball, and I can guarantee you that Speeny is waiting for a curveball right here. If he can get a hanger right here and get the good part of the bat on it, we could very well be tied here. Fernandez at second, Crosby at first, 1 down. Zach Wells went down swinging. Speeny up. Curveball inside corner, strike 2.
Another nasty pitch by Eyrig.
Tucker Bishop on deck.
And Eyrig's just a tough guy to be down in the count to because you just don't know what's coming.
Because he can just blow a fastball right by you if you're sitting on the curve, especially 0-2 count. I mean,
you got to guess right.
0-2 curve, just a little high.
Speeny, big sigh of relief there. That didn't miss by much.
It was a little high, though, and it did cross the plate, but a tough pitch to take.
That 0-2, baby. Good eye by the sophomore.
Tyler Ehrig elects to go curve again or try and sneak a fastball by him. 1-2. Curveball in the dirt. Speeney swings through it. So 2 strikeouts for Tyler Ehrig. And, I mean, there's
not much you can do there. That's just a tough pitch, especially you get down in the count against this guy. You just don't know what's coming.
Tucker Bishop.
So and that one, the bottom dropped out.
Tucker Bishop trying to keep this game going. 8-5. Mariners on top. Tucker Bishop, no home runs this year. 326 average. 1 for 2 this afternoon. Curve low. Inside. 1-0. Tucker Bishop has been aboard safely 3 times this afternoon. RBI single in the first to put the Falcons on board and a walk. And got hit by a pitch. Scored 2 runs this one, too.
I like Bishop in this situation.
Fastball low. Ball 2. Danny Mills on deck.
Bishop, not a kid that strikes me as someone who would back away from this position. This is right where he wants to be.
His little brother had a big-time walk-off grand slam this year. Older brother wants to top it off here, and a game-tying home run would do that. 2-0 low. Count 3-0. So if Tucker gets on, he would be the tying run, and that would bring up Danny Mills, who's had 2 big-time hits in this one. Also reached the board safely last inning. Not safely, but reached because of the E5 on the third baseman, Adam Manzer. 3-0. Fastball right down the middle. Bishop taken all the way. So let's see if Stover elects to not allow him to swing here. Just got to get runners aboard.
Big pitch right here. Don't want the count to go full. Well, with 2 outs, get your guys moving.
3-1. Fastball right down the middle. Bishop taken all the way.
And Ehrig looks like when he wants to throw a strike, he can.
So Tucker Bishop. Counts full. 2 down. Bottom 9. Falcons down 8-5. Mariners scored 3 in the top half of the 9th. 3-2. Runners take off. Curveball swing and a miss. Tyler Ehrig strikes out the side on 3 nasty curveballs, and really nothing you can do to get a piece of that nasty curve. It just dips, and talk about a 12-6 curve.
Boy, you just see why Tyler Ehrig is so effective. He struck out Wells, then he struck out Speeney, then he struck out Tucker Bishop. 3 of the best hitters for the Solano Falcons. And boy, he just has such great command. He actually made it look easy. So this game was really well played till we got to the later stages, and then it looked like nobody wanted to come away with the victory. Marin gave away 3 runs to the Falcons in the bottom of the 8th. They were able to tie it at 5-5, and that was after Marin put 3 atop in the top of the 8th. But then Marin comes back. They get 3 more, and the Falcons just not much doing, trying to come back against Tyler Ehrig. And so big game in the Bay Valley Conference. Solano loses this game. Now they'll drop to 3 games behind Marin. Not the worst thing in the world, but now it makes that game on Thursday even more important. You got Ryan Anderson, who'll probably be going for the Falcons. Probably expect Ben Herrick to be pitching for Marin. It'll be the 3rd time that these guys have faced each other, Zach, and game not much bigger than the game at the College of Marin now on Thursday.
Yeah, if Marin can pull that one out on Thursday, especially with the tough schedule coming up for Marin. I mean, get a little bit of breathing room with Los Medanos coming in for 2 games, Yuba 2 games, and then ending the season 2-game series with Mendocino. But big-time win today for Marin. Got the lead 5-2 in the 8th. Solano tied it in the bottom half, and then 3 more big runs in the top half of the 9th. Due in large part to erratic pitching from the Falcons. Bullpen, Driscoll had a walk and a hit batter. Stafford came in and had a few walks too, gave up a couple of hits. So the Falcons had a chance to pull this one out. You got to tip your cap to Marin. They came in and they fought hard and pulled out the victory, and they swept Solano here now at home, or here at Billy Luis Yarbrough Stadium. 2-0 against Solano here at the Falcons Place, and first time they've won here since 2006.
Yeah, the Falcons they lost to Marin 4-3.
That's what I mean. Marin swept them 2-0 here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with Marin getting both those victories at home, those were both games that Solano could have won and probably should have won. Now you throw in the blown save against Las Madonnas. You've got 3 losses there that you just hope don't end up being the reason why you don't win a Bay Valley Conference championship, or worse yet, even make it into the playoffs. But everything is fixed with the win at Marin on Thursday, and that's got to be the Falcons' mindset.
Marin now 22-7 overall, 13-4 in the BVC. They've won their last 5 games, and they've won 8 of the last 9. Number 5 in Northern California. And Solano, on the other hand, they fall to 16-11 overall, 10-7 in the BVC. This loss today snaps their 2-game winning streak. And looking at Solano, they're now 2-5 in the last 7 games. And big-time game coming up Thursday. Ryan Anderson, 3-4 on the year, 3.99 ERA. Going up against Ben Herrick, arguably the top pitcher in the Bay Valley Conference this year. He's 6-1, 1.55 ERA, and just under 70 innings worth of work. Well, partner, it was fun. Falcons lose this
game,
one.
huh?
Falcons dropped this one 8-5. Marin, 8 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. Falcons, on the other hand, 5 runs scored on 9 hits and 1 error. First error of the season on Gio Torres. Tyler Ehrig picks up his first win of the season. Now 1-1 on the year. And Nick Driscoll, on the other hand, loses, and he now falls to 3-2 on the season. So once again, thanks for checking us out. I'm Zach Popp, here with my broadcast partner, as always, Greg Poff. We out.